Scared the fuck out of me. I thought something was coming out. This nigga, oh my God. Oh, fuck. Oh, my chest. Oh.
I didn't even know he was back there.
Like, creeped. And he's winking at me. Look, this nigga winking. Don't wink at me, nigga. Scary ass.
No, his right eye does that.
I don't give a fuck. He looked like he popped out and winked at me. Oh, shit.
I don't want to freak him out because I don't want him to jump out the window.
He already freaked us out.
Oh, shit.
Freaked me the fuck out.
I know, I'm used to it with him by now. But before we open, so we were just saying on air, well, Pro was telling me off air that, well, go ahead. You set the scene.
About the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We were just talking about, we both had Gatorade on here.
Mm-hmm.
Both drinking the same drink. And I was just reminded of the soccer team that I coach. Kid asked me, he's like, hey, the other day, he's like, hey, man, you see that really old movie, The Waterboy? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's not really old. Well, look, we can skip that whole thing. I mean, the point is, I'm hoarse right now. My voice is hoarse because I was just coaching a soccer game before and I was yelling my ass off. But it's all good because we won and we're undefeated. And we beat the other undefeated team in the league, so we are the only undefeated team left. There can only be one.
No,
let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead. Talk.
This was a barn burner. We played this team the week before and we tied.
Yeah.
And we kept telling these kids, guys, practice hard, get some rest. This team's coming back. They're going to be strong. We trained our asses off.
Yeah.
Granted, it's only an hour and a half of training. Granted, the kids are not really paying attention the whole time. Granted, they talk while the coach is talking. But still, we tried hard.
Yeah.
Man, we came in there with a vengeance and beat some fucking ass. I'm screaming. I'm yelling. I'm bigging up the kids. I called this one kid a beast while his parents were out there. I guess they felt great. I'm like, oh, you're a beast. I love it. And like, that's not the way you should be yelling at kids during a soccer game. But I was yelling at them like I was a football coach. Shit was fun. It was a good time.
Technically, I don't see anything wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong. I'm encouraging these kids.
Yeah.
Like but you never hear it, you know, in that town. You know, someone go out there and be like, yeah, all you hear is, great job.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
You may hear, great job, Brandon. Good job, David. I'm like, oh, that's my boy. You're killing it. Like I'm going in there, I'm a little more rough with it. And because of that, my voice is a little hoarse. But it's all good because we won. I'm in a great mood. My team's first place in the league.
Nice.
Couldn't be happier. Yeah, man. So we doing the thing.
No, because we still haven't opened the episode yet. But I wanted to talk about it just because it's earlier today we were watching we were at the bar just drinking and, you know, for lunch and eating, and they had like the TVs inside the bar. We were watching one of them. It said something about I forgot. It had like a time frame, like 2000 or whatever. I forgot what it was. And the bartender, which we were all talking about our ages, and he had us guess his age, and we've known him for a minute. Like, this is a bar, like we're you know, regulars too, and he's 23. Okay. And I'm just thinking like, oh, you look way older, but okay. I thought like late 20s. It's not that. I mean, not that way older. Maybe early 30s, if anything. But so he tells us his age. At least like maybe an hour passes, and we see that, and he's looking at it too. He's like, "Damn, it was a long time ago." I was like, "It wasn't that long ago." I just looked. It really isn't. I was like, because I forgot what it was, like 2000 something. He was like, "Oh, that was a long time ago." I was like, "It really wasn't." And then here's Maria next to me. He's only 24, and she's like, but she thinks that she's older. Love you, but yeah. And she's like, "No, Shanae, it was a long time ago." But then, I'm thinking about it now, and I know it seems, bitch, you're only 20. You were born in like 96. Like, what do you?
That's what I'm saying.
Know?
Yeah, that's like with MI the other day when we were talking about. And I asked him about Ether. Like, how old were you when Ether came out? Yeah, nigga was young as shit. Yeah. And I was like, damn, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, I had seen this Twitter thread that this person, I guess, and I feel like she probably has she's maybe around a lot of people older that talk shit. I mean, I guess I don't really talk shit about young people. Maybe, no, I probably do. But she was saying, oh, yeah, some of you guys have to realize that there are people born 2000 to 2002 are 19 to 21 years old and are buying businesses and homes and have good credit and blah, 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 whatever. And then the whole thread, some people are agreeing Or like some people are saying that's cool, but be humble. Then there's other, and because the whole thing is like after the whole like this is what we're doing, but you old heads want to keep talking down to us when we have it better than you. So that's where people were saying like be humble, blah blah blah, and everybody's like, well, yeah, that's great. Like you should have that. You should be better than any generation before you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, like if you're, and then somebody's like, yeah, I'm 21 and I have this business and blah blah blah. Another one was like, you must be around some 50-year-olds who think that like you're not doing great and are talking shit like you don't. Yeah, that's pretty much the consensus on it. Was like, damn, like you must be around some miserable ass people.
These fucking young fucks.
But that's the thing, like the way I see it, like I get when you're just like, oh, like this new generation, or whatever, like what we do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, they should be doing better than us now.
They should be, and I think when that happens, the older generation before them is always going to have something to say, to criticize how they're doing it.
They're going to be talking, yeah, but like, and that tweet, I'm thinking in my head, like, bitch, you're going to be talking about the next generation. I'm sure she already has said something about the younger generation than her.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, because if that girl that tweeted that, if you're 21, yeah, there's already at least, what, 1 or 2 generations under her, or just one?
One.
It would be one, right?
One, yeah.
So I just thought it was funny because I'm just thinking like calm down.
Yeah.
Give it like 5 to 10 years and you'll be right in the same boat.
No, you'll see. I mean, that's how the youth always does it. They always think they know till they get there. Mm-hmm. We've dealt with it, and now I know why grown-ups told us you'll understand when you're older. Yeah. I get it now. Like, and I tell my kid that, and he doesn't get it, and he'll get it when he's older, and then he'll tell it to his kids, and I've explained that to him, but he doesn't get it.
I feel
that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's just about the experience. Yeah. It's just not letting people, what is it called? Try to like devalue you in that sense. Yeah. Where like not that. Like people will always try to devalue you. Sorry. But what it is to not let it get to you. The fact that you have to break being humble, or she's probably not humble at all, but like she has to kind of break that character where it's like, no, but and I got this and I do this. It's like, all right, calm down.
Yeah. Like, no, pretty much just humble herself, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, like calm down. It's cool. Okay, but the generation before you is dealing with student debt because we were forced to go to college because that was the blueprint.
Yeah.
So
much.
It's like, okay. So
yeah.
just,
and the generation before that, they dealt with shit different ways too.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
So you know. But yeah, it is episode 87 of the Lyrical Fix Podcast with your host, Sade.
And Kid Pro.
All right, there you go. It's open. It's open. Because it was in my mind. I'm like, because it was a conversation. Sorry, it was a conversation we were having off air that I'm like, no. I know I'm going to forget if I don't record this right now. So yeah.
That was all right. Now I'm glad I remembered that.
No, because you mentioned the water boy thing, right. Which I have to edit out because fucking Cass. But yeah.
Yeah, Cass fucking popped out of the goddamn curtain right now. Like it.
Oh, I thought he was there again.
No, when he did, it just like.
I'm keeping that part.
I would have swore he had opposable thumbs the way he did it. It was just so like clean.
It was a little.
He just stuck his head through.
It was a little, The Shining. Like here's Johnny. Yeah. He's definitely Here's Cass.
He was like popping out of a vag or some shit. It just came out.
He was born. Yeah. The Jim Carrey shit always cracks me up when I see that. Oh man. What was I gonna say? So what do you want to start with?
No, let's start with the big news, man. Check It is back. Round of applause.
Okay.
Come on, man. It's been how many months since the last one?
7.
7 months since the last one.
It's been 7 months since the last one. It's
Lord.
Yeah.
We closed out the 2020. Well, not really closed it out, but it was the last show of 2020. Mm-hmm. And
the COVID send-off.
The COVID send-off. That's right.
Well, we thought we were like, we're
second wave send-off.
Second wave send-off. Yeah, that's what the name you came up with.
Yeah, and she was great. And then we had it at the same place again. Shout out to Media Plate. Mm-hmm. Clifton.
A huge shout out to Media Plate.
Huge shout out. Very accommodating. We ended up having it outside. Mm-hmm. Sade had the great idea of, she saw the vision out in the lot area. Mm-hmm. She saw room for a stage, and she talked to homeboy, and they made it happen. Yeah. And they even set up the little tarp and everything. And shout out to Spencer Sterling, who when the tarp fell down,
the wind,
he actually helped to get it set up.
Yeah, because I saw it fall down, and like it hit like Savvy's shoulders. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I was right there.
So I ran inside. I go to get Ant. He comes outside, and I just see Sterling like,
Yeah, and someone asked me a question. He's like, "Yo, you think it's this?" I was like, "I don't know a damn thing about this." I was like, "Yeah, it probably is."
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
"But just
yeah.
wait for homie to come back."
I was like, no, you don't have to do that. He's like, I don't mind, or I
Nah.
forgot what he said exactly.
He's just there. I'm just there minding my business, smoking with Savvy. I'm just like, "Yeah, no, we gotta get this fixed."
No, so I was like, just leave it down. I don't care. But he was determined to get it.
At one point, I was like, "No, Savvy, move your head."
And I mentioned it to him. I'm like, is this gonna keep happening? Like whenever the wind hits? Because when we pulled up, it was down, and the guy had said, he was like, he had asked me about it. He was like, oh, it's probably the wind. Blah blah blah. Let me see.
Yeah.
And then he said, he's like, no. He was like, the other guy that runs it, Bernard. He or like I think he's the main guy that runs it. He does it a certain way where it doesn't do it. He's like, I got to see the way he does it, because when he does it, it's fine.
Right.
And then, well, they have to take it down because that is a lot. So
Yeah.
And then he hooked it up, I think, the night before for me.
Yeah. No,
But
that
it
shit
just-
was dope.
yeah.
Everything was great. We had the chair set up, which was a nice touch as well. Tables. Performers were great. Saw a bunch of new people I hadn't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And met some people that came out of state, which was dope too. A couple of the regulars.
A few of the regulars.
few of the regulars. And then we had a cipher around the end, which was fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Which that was very, very much needed. I think that gave a little more energy in the place. And of course, Droovy.
Yeah, Drew
Haven't
was
seen
dope.
Droovy in months,
Yeah.
so shout out to Droovy, always doing the goddamn thing. It was a great, great atmosphere, man. Like I really,
Mhm.
you did your thing again. Came front on you. You killed it. You came through and you had a vision and you made it happen.
I don't know.
Well, how do you feel about it? What's up? You don't sound too happy.
No, I was letting you talk. Because I thought you went like from beginning to end. So
I
was
sure
I was
did.
like, no, I was letting you go.
That's
I didn't
right.
want to like cut you off to be like, no, before you get to the end. No, so I was letting you go.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Okay.
No, you're good. I was letting you speak.
Just giving you flowers.
Thank you. So I've been exhausted lately.
Word.
So my energy is not. I mean, I'm not a bubbly person.
No, you're pretty flat.
Yeah, no, I'm dry. I am a dry bitch.
More flat.
I am not. I'm anything but flat, but personality-wise, I guess, yeah. No, it was just fun because I'm not a bubbly person. Like I can get hyped, but for the most part, like I just have to be in the mood for it. And I've just been ever since COVID. COVID really humbled me down. COVID really said, no, sit your ass down. So me trying to, I really felt like COVID gave me like a pow-pow. Like it really did. Like
pow, got you.
yeah, like I really do think. Sorry for the camera. There you go. So, but yeah, because being like with COVID, like after a while during the quarantine shit, there were times where I physically couldn't work, or I couldn't half the time. I would just like I can't find a show to watch and just pass out to nothing. It'd just be like just dead, like nothing going on. But having to I try to be active and try to like figure out what can I do in this small little space. And I think I made up the flyer when I was in COVID.
Okay.
I think, or I forgot what the hell I did. I know I did a couple creative things.
I feel like you did, yeah.
But I just still like I felt like it was a complete like everything was blocked creatively. And then jumping out of that, trying to get the creative juices flowing, having to go back to work, that is very strenuous. And I was completely dead after that first weekend. The first I only did 35 hours that week, and that's nothing for me. And I'm not used to it. And then having to plan not just one show but two shows.
Right.
And then everything else, like with us and, all that shit too. So, if I told you already, Velvet pretty much said, like, no, because I was like, I don't know what it was. It wasn't like I was depressed. It wasn't like when in February when my mood was weird and I felt like everybody was at high volume around me, that kind of thing. Like I was in a fog. It wasn't that at all. And I'm explaining to her, she's like, no, bitch, your body's still in shock. Your mind is still in shock. She's like, everything that you went through and then you just hit the ground running, like, no, your body's trying to tell you to stop. So, yeah.
Too much too soon.
Too much too soon. Too much. And the fucked up thing is I can't really stop.
You can't stop it. You got to slow down.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's saying you can't be busy, but you got to be able to slow down while doing it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to explain it.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've been lucky that we've had people, like, that need to reschedule or, like, we have to do that reshoot. But I've been kind of lucky where it's not too much.
Yeah.
Because I think I would probably crawl in a ball and just, I would ignore my phone. Like, I would just be like, okay, like, I would just force myself.
Yeah.
No, like, I'm still able to do things. It's just, I feel like a sloth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So my hustle, I'm trying to get my hustle back. I feel like that's a major thing that I lost with COVID. So I'm just kind of trying to build back up to that, but back to Check It. So Check It was dope. I didn't have the energy whatsoever. I didn't speak to everybody like I usually do and what I wanted to do. But what little energy I did have, I focused on just making sure behind the scenes the show was great. Like, I wasn't really focusing on hosting because I know if I spent my energy on how I was going to talk to the crowd and get everybody together, I feel like the behind the scenes shit would fall apart. And that, like, running the show by myself takes a lot out of me. So I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on this because I have signups and, you know, XYZ and all that shit. So somehow I was able to do this. And it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
I talked to the guy. I'm like, so it looks like we're going to be done, like, right on time. And then he was like, oh, because you're so great at your job. I was like, yeah. But I asked, I was like, is it cool? I was like, I haven't done it in a while, but usually, like, we'll do, like, a little cypher thing. Like, my drummer, he'll play a beat, and then people just come and grab the microphone. He was like, go ahead. You got this. Do whatever you want. I was like, bet. So we did the cypher, which is really cool. Johnson going up. That was great.
Johnson was great.
That was fucking great. Oh, there was something that I was supposed to talk about. I could just remember now. Because Chip was like, I need to hear that. I need to hear about that on 87. So when Be Able, shout out to Be Able, one of our new performers, Be Able goes up. By the way, we had so many new performers that it spilled over into the second half. Because, you know, like, I did 2 breaks, so there was, like, well, in the second half, there were 3 parts in the show.
Yeah.
He was in the middle. That never happens.
Yeah.
I never had that many new people.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I looked at you. I'm like, I don't know who to prefer. So I have so many new people. And I think I said something I had told them, because all the new people, of course, are the ones that showed up first. And I'm like, by the way, I'm just letting you guys know, new people go first.
Newbies go first.
And then Jack was there. Jack's like this, just like, because he's just like facing forward and just nodding. And the show was cracking me. I was like, Jack will tell you. He'll let you know. And he's just laughing. I'm like, he had to do it. He had to do it a few times.
Shout out to Jack WD.
But yeah, so, you know, Sterling stepped up, was like, I'll do it.
Yeah, shout out to Sterling. Didn't have no fear. He just went and did his thing first.
Oh, and he did some slick ass shit. Fucking put in like 5, no, it was like 10 songs, but it was in 7 minutes. Like, oh yeah, no, I want to tell you,
I was like, he did like almost 5 songs.
Yeah, but it was under 8 minutes, so I don't care. And
well,
it was one track.
I wasn't sure. Yeah, everybody was like, because I heard people saying like, oh, he's doing more than 2, because people were under the impression there was 2.
Yeah, no, but it also says 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you don't play it smart, then because he's not the only one who's done that. But because he sends 1 track. The reason why it says 2 tracks, because I'm not dealing with everybody sending me EPs of multiple tracks. Is when I used to just do by time limit, I used to do like, you get 10 minutes, and I would get 4 or 5 songs from everybody.
Right.
And it was too much. Well, at that time I had a DJ, and he was like, brother, he was like, you can't, this is way too much. He's like, and not for nothing, you're not charging a lot of money, so you shouldn't be letting them do this much. So it went down to 2 songs. But I would still put the limit in there just in case, like I don't mind, but be smart about what you're gonna do, and that's what Sterling did.
Yeah.
And a couple others. Somebody I know, Prospect has done that before, but I think he just did it with 3. Rivera, our producer of the month, Prime, he did that before. Mm-hmm. He snuck in 1, and I looked at him. He just looked at me like, yeah, I did that. Which,
Yeah, I did
if
that.
it's under the time limit, it's
That's
cool.
all good.
It's cool. I just don't want whole EPs. It's fine. I just don't want multiple tracks. But anyway, so he did his thing. So to fast forward to be able, he when he jumped off stage, he brought great energy.
Yeah.
I honestly, I've only seen him perform a couple times. I don't remember seeing that energy from him.
Oh, it was there, but he wasn't doing that particular song. Whenever we seen him perform before, that was the
True.
first time I seen him do that song.
Oh, okay. I've always the second song that he performed. That's the one I've only seen him perform that one.
Yeah,
that
the
one
Avatar song. I have not. That was my first time seeing it live.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
But so when he jumped, something fell out of his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just, and I'm just thinking, I'm like this. I was like, somebody get it. And then you just like, whoop, whoop, with like the way you did it was so smooth.
Yeah, well, I
And
kept
you just passed it to me, yeah. And it was just funny because Trip is next to me. Trip was like, yeah, that was smooth.
Yeah.
That was so fucking, I was like, there's a reason why I keep him.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need to hear about this on 87. Because that was just like, I was like, somebody get it. But I can't reach because I didn't want to get
I
anyone.
didn't even pay attention to what it was.
There's something part of his instrument, which I kept hearing like 20 people. I think it had to be at least maybe like 10 people go up to him and ask him, what is that? And I think, what was it? Maybe Villa was like, see, I knew it. I know my instruments. And he was like acting like, yeah, I know my shit.
What exactly was it? Did he
I don't
answer?
fucking remember. I'm not.
It's a
Sorry,
saxophone,
I'm not a
but it's
musician. I
not
don't know.
a alto
No,
tenor
it's
sax.
starts with a C. I feel like, or maybe not.
So it's not a sax.
No, it wasn't a sax. It's something else.
I don't know why the first thing I possibly had was C with clarinet or cello.
Because a sax,
I
I
know it's not
think. I know like the basic ones, but like a sax is a little bit more like you see how like that was a little. It's just that was more. It was smaller, like a little bit
Yeah,
minimal.
I don't even remember what it looks like now off the top of my head, to be honest with you.
It kind of looked like a sax.
Kinda
but,
like a sax.
It was a little different.
I'll ask him next time.
Yeah,
Shout out to Be Able.
but yeah, shout out to everybody
And my
that was
smooth
there.
camera handling skills.
Yeah, that was just super clutch.
Keeping it professional. No, it's just what I do on the
It
daily.
was just like, what
no
guess
problem.
somebody
Hold
get
on
it.
a second. There you go.
But it was like we both went at the same time, I guess. I don't know how Trip saw it, but I just remember like thinking like, yes, he got it. Okay, we're good. That shit was funny.
That was a fun time. And man, shout out
Yeah.
to Shakespeare the Monopiate, who hadn't been there in a while. Brought his mom, brought 2 cameramen.
Yeah.
It's brought his family, his little sister. This guy was the whole vibe.
Yeah,
out
and
there.
it's funny because when he walked in, we were talking, and he brought his little sister there. And forgive me, I don't remember her name, but she was 13. I remember that. And he's like, yeah, she can sing. And I was like, no. At one point, I was like, babe, I'm not talking to you. I was like, go ahead. What's your name? Because he answered for her. I was like, no. You tell me. Talk to me. It's okay. And she was just like a little like puppy. Like,
Yeah, she's 13.
yeah.
Respect,
And she was nervous.
bunch of grown ass men and shit. Yeah, at a hip hop show. Of course,
Oh
she'd be
no, I
nervous.
wasn't like that at 13, but I
Yeah.
grew up with guys, so I grew up around a lot of people. But she was so cute, and it's also because he put her on the spot.
That too. Yeah.
So that was a major thing, and I was like, stop it. And X was there cracking up, and I was like, no, talk to me. And then I was like, listen, I was like, I get it, you're nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like, practice in front of your brother, practice in front of people. You want to start performing? You let me know.
Yeah.
He was like, you see, I was like, but don't, and I told him, I was like, don't push her. Don't force her to do it. Let her, yeah. But he said he heard her sing for like the first time the other day or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, my baby. So, but it was cool to see him. I love his energy. He talked about the first time that he was at check-in, he was all nervous and shit. He's like, I'll dance around, but performing wise, I was nervous as hell.
Yeah.
And so when he went up, I was standing next to X, and X was, oh no, not X, it was Ant, the guy that was helping me from the venue.
Yeah.
And he goes, because he was there for that conversation, and he leans next to me, and he's like, and he said he was nervous. I was like, no, he was the first time.
Yeah.
And then he was like, but look at him.
Yeah.
And like the way he was performing and had everybody engaged was great.
Yeah, me and him always have talks about this stuff, about just like, you're always nervous until they call your name, and then it just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of how it goes. You get into that zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "Once Sade is my name, man, I'm in another world." I'm like, "Yeah, that's usually how it goes." That's kind of what it is. But I'm glad to see him like come there and like, cause like I said, we've been keeping in contact, and he's been wanting to do this for months, you know. And he says, "Check It is just like my home. It's like this is where I gotta come and like release, and it's like therapy for me and everything." So he was really, really happy about performance. So you're doing really, really good out here for people. Like they see this as their sanctuary.
I try.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
you should be proud of that.
Thank you. So the last time he was there at Check It, well, you know, a different venue, his friend Prince Mac.
Prince Mac, shout out to Prince Mac as well.
Was there, yeah, and Prince Mac has performed a couple other times. He did. He went to the same vocal training class as Velvet, and she had already been going, and I think they probably had spoke at Check It or something, or I think he like showed up and she was like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" kind of thing.
Right.
But anyway, they actually have a duet together. That is
nice.
so cool. So I was telling her, I'm like, make that happen.
Yeah.
Because I love his voice. Love his voice, and I missed it so much. When he had hit me up, I didn't recognize like his account, or it had to be, or no, I think he just emailed me.
Gotcha.
And the name looks familiar, but I couldn't figure it out. And then he said Prince Mac, and I'm like, why is he not? I was like, this can't be the same one. I don't want to email him back like, man, it's just you, or like whatever, or DM him like, did you really just email me, like, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, I don't know. And then he popped up. I was like, it is you. And it was funny. But he, which I have to talk to you. He has a book coming out.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Not coming out yet, but in the works. He has mad shit in the works that I think is like really interesting. We should probably get him on soon. Yeah. But it was amazing. He was preaching. He really was. He had everybody engaged, which was just like, that energy was insane.
It was crazy to hear that. And it's crazy also because just me filming everything. Mm-hmm. Who the hell was that? I think I was telling somebody. I was like, it felt like I was a fly on the wall. Like I was there physically, but I wasn't really there mentally because I was just so focused on what was going on and capturing the footage. Like I didn't really get a chance to enjoy the show. Yeah. Even though I did kind of like get to dap a couple people here and there in between, like my mind was solely focused on trying to get these shots off. Mm-hmm. So I kind of hear the conversation, the chatter that I normally would be having, but I'm so like focused on this. So it's kind of weird because you're
seeing it from a different side.
Yeah, and I didn't really pay attention to it last time because I guess I talked more last time. Like I made a point to not talk as much this time. Mm-hmm. It probably comes out a little bit, so forgive me. No,
as long as it's not what I had to edit out last time.
No, it's not heavy shit like that. No.
Okay.
I was telling X about that before too. I was cracking him up.
Yeah.
About that, but it's just crazy just being in there and being in the moment, and like, I get how videographers feel now a little more. Mm-hmm. But still great. I had a great time doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, it's different when you're part of like behind the scenes, or even like, I mean, photographers and videographers, they're literally in the scene technically. Yeah. But it's still like behind the scenes in a way. So it's a different aspect. I just
remember too, speaking of me filming, so Kim and Sinette from my film class, they came, and Kim brought her girlfriend Shanta, and that's the girl that was holding the camera when they saw me go up, and she's like, "Thank God that Shanta took the camera because I was drunk as hell." I saw her yesterday, and she told me as well.
Oh shit!
At the class.
No, it was funny because I was enjoying the moment of seeing you on there, like up there, and I was just thinking like, damn, I really should have forced him to at least perform like one song. I didn't want to do the pros and cons thing though.
Okay.
Because I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't have any music for him to perform to, though.
So I would have just done that.
No, I know, but I'm like, I want.
You would rather music.
Yeah. So, but we'll get to that. So the next Check It. Yeah. But like I was in the moment for a second, and I was like, oh, I gotta work. And then I turned over. I was like, oh, let me get the camera. I was like, my bad. Let me get it.
Yeah. No, she appreciated that because she wasn't even sure what she was gonna do with it. So shout out to Shanta. You're awesome. Yeah,
so at least a portion of it might be a little shaky, but thank you, girl.
No big deal. Ain't no big deal. It's all good.
She was holding it.
She did her thing.
She was holding her own.
Yeah.
That cipher came out. That shit was so funny. The money, Johnson. Did you see when Johnson posted it? Yeah. And somebody commented it that they're. I mean, I don't know if I'm hoping it was a joke. Commented something about them like y'all treating him like a whore or something like that.
Treating like a whore. Yeah, I mean, obviously it looks like like a pause moment, but at the same time we're like laughing, having fun at this guy because they don't get the context. The person before him or before that cipher, literally threw cash, the fake $100 bills all on the floor.
Yeah.
So obviously
I was so grateful that everybody picked it up.
Hell yeah, I picked them shits up.
I did not want to have to like go through that. As soon as he took that money gun out, I'm like, don't you fucking do it. I'm on the side thinking like, just don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. Click. Money everywhere. I'm like, oh, that's great.
And part of me was like, okay, if this is real, and I'm filming while I'm seeing this money gun go out, I'm seeing the money fall to the ground, and I'm filming, so I want to keep it professional. So I did what any self-respecting person would have done. I did the stomp and drag and slowly moved back as I'm filming to see, is this real or not? Because if it's real, it's about to be a bunch of people running up to pick this shit up. And I want to make sure I get mine at least 200-300 right here. So I went like this, and I reached down.
I know, I seen it.
I seen you. Damn it.
I seen you do it. So where I was sitting, like where the open door was, there was nobody behind me. So I was like, fuck it. So I sat there, and across from me, the next doorway, Esco and Lauren are sitting.
Yeah.
So what was it? Esco like he's like psst, psst, or whatever, and I look over. He's like, go pick it up.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not getting up. I was like, my feet hurt. I'm not getting up.
Because everybody want to check. Everybody want to know. Somebody wants to know, yo, is this real or not?
Literally 5 seconds later, I'm looking. I see you dragging your foot, dragging one of them. And then I got Villa. Villa just walks over. So, like, you could tell he's just in that, what's going on? Looks down and then picks it up. And me and, like, the three of us were cracking the fuck up.
Yeah, because all right, let's just say if it was just me and Villa, if we pick up that shit and it happens to be real and we start going picking them up, everybody else is going to follow suit and it's going to be a little mini riot in there. If that shit was real, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
and it would have been hilarious.
Yeah, I probably would have.
That would have stopped the show.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, and I think I mentioned this to you before, I was at a show, shout out to Ron Solomon, I was at a show where we were performing Intimidation.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm not even, it's not even on some like protecting the innocent shit. I don't even remember the name of you niggas. I really don't. But 2 guys came on stage, took money out their pockets, wad of cash, probably 5s, 10s, 20s, maybe a couple 50s, 100s in there. Threw it all in the sky, and this is a room full of people, no windows, it's already hot as fuck, niggas smoking weed in there, and dropped on the floor. Nobody went for this money because these dudes looked kind of dangerous.
Was this Meat Locker or something?
No, it wasn't Meat Locker. It was in Union or some shit.
Okay.
So song ends or set ends. These motherfuckers are picking the money back up. So at that point, I'm like, oh, this is real money. But I'm just like, you're picking up your own shit?
Yeah.
You picked up the money that you threw. You were putting this image out like you can flash it all, you can spend it all and all this, and you tough and shit, but you back picking your money up. Like, that shit made no sense to me. And I'm looking at another artist like, I was going to pick it up, but I don't know. He's like, yeah, they look like they wouldn't like that.
But, like, why throw it?
Why throw it? And then if someone picks it up, that's going to start a fight. And then we got a whole nother issue on our hands.
Oh, yeah, no. I would have been the one to pick it up.
But
if I looked at it and I'm like...
But that just looked like some, I hate to say it, looked like some fuck shit. Like, if you're going to throw the money... And it's real money. You can't pick it back up.
No, you can't. I would pick it up, and if they ask me for it, I'm like,
why?
For what? It's for the streets. You threw it on the ground.
And now I'm just like, I should have just picked it up, but I also feel like that would have started some shit.
You threw it down.
So in a way, everybody in that fucking crowd was pussy.
Yeah,
pretty much. They didn't want to start with these guys. They looked a little like they might have taken offense to you picking up the money. But why should you take offense? Culturally, once you throw that shit, it's not yours no more.
Yeah, culturally.
Why the fuck are you picking it back up? I mean, granted, it's not a strip club.
Socially.
There's no one dancing. Socially, but...
Socially, culturally.
If you throwing the cash in the air, it's because you not spending it.
Humanitarianly? I was trying to, like, get it to work.
Charitingly?
Charitingly. Technically, it works, too.
No, what's that word? Damn it! This motherfucker again. Get out of there.
He's like, what? No, you're not. Get away from the
No, philanthropically.
There you go.
Yeah. Like that's what you were thinking of.
No, it wasn't. But it was a good word. It was way better than my made-up word.
But charitingly?
Money is for the streets when thrown. For the strippers when thrown. for the starving artist that went thrown.
Like,
I don't.
if I did a poll about this, like they couldn't have possibly have. They peoples that came there couldn't have possibly filmed this and put it on social and people see it and be okay with this shit.
No, people probably didn't say anything.
That is so weird.
Well,
I've never heard
people
of this.
didn't pick up the money.
I know.
I also think I think it's weird that people that they seen this money thrown and didn't pick it up.
Everybody probably thought the same thing. Like, this is probably a bad idea.
I would have picked it up.
These I didn't want to stereotype. These look like goons.
I'm full of.
These were
bad
goons that were
ideas.
throwing the money out. So people didn't want to fuck with these guys already. They were in there talking that.
I come from a family of goons.
That
so
they were
fine.
talking
I was probably
that shit.
related. No, God, I
No, you
hope
weren't
not.
related
I
either.
hope I wasn't related
don't
to
think
any
you
of
were.
them.
But
Hopefully
these guys were talking that shit on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just one of them young kids that he's like, yeah, I ain't even trying to try. Like, you
Yo,
got it, homie. You
let
got it.
somebody. Let me not even say it. Fuck, I'll say it. Let somebody throw money at Check It. Psh, that's mine.
Well, it's getting picked up at
Oh.
that point. I mean, it should have. Well, the other money got picked up, but it was all hundreds.
No.
I'm picking up 100. I see
No.
100, I'm picking it up.
If I see $1, I'm picking that shit up. Fuck that.
Yeah.
No, if I'm at a strip club, I will not do that because that's total disrespect.
But
You
at
don't
the
fucking
same
pick up. You don't pick up strippers' money. They worked hard for that.
It was a sweaty night. I don't know if people just didn't want to touch COVID money. Sweaty ass money in that. It was hot as fuck.
Well, money is dirty
Smoke,
already.
it is.
So
That's right.
money is dirty as shit.
All right, point is, everybody in that damn room was
Literally
pussy and
shit.
didn't pick up the money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Including myself. So it is what it is.
Yeah. But moving on.
Yeah, moving on. All right, so we said which one we pick? Oh, Cole.
I forgot Cole. I think Cole.
So yeah, let's get into the music shit. So last week we were talking about some new music that came out. We hinted at we didn't hint, but we discussed J. Cole's Interlude.
Yeah.
It was a newer single that he brought out.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed it and we had our thoughts about what the album might be. Album has come out. We've both had a chance to listen to it a couple times. At least I know I have. How many times have you listened to it?
A couple times.
Couple times.
Or like 1.5, really.
Okay, 1.5. All right. So J. Cole, Fall Off.
Yes. Do you want to start or
Is the Fall Off or Off Season? I'm sorry.
off season?
Off Season. Excuse me. Off Season. J. Cole. All right. So I've heard this album about 7 times. Heard it one more time in the car right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just for some more clarity. It's growing on me more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type of guy ever to say like, oh, this is a classic after the first week. I'm never that. I just have to listen to an album and kind of get invested in it and check it out. And I can say, although it's not my favorite J. Cole album, I would say it's moved into my top 3. Top 3 projects for me.
What would be your top 3?
Would be Born Sinner, Forest Hills Drive, and it was Friday Night Lights. And I feel like this is in that 3. No, I'm not sure which one it takes away.
So wait, what? Okay, so Forest Hills,
Born Sinner,
one. Okay,
and
yeah.
Friday Night Lights. Those are my my personal 3 favorite Cole projects.
Gotcha.
And now this one is kind of up there too because it's a grown Cole. There were a lot of songs that I just appreciated and related to more, especially with being a father. Like the Let Go of My Hand was probably my favorite track out of the whole one. I related to that a lot.
That was You're Gonna Be a Man soon.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah, I related to that a lot. And I just appreciated like the contrast in styles. Like he did the first beat, the 95 South, on like a typical like Dipset beat from the early 2000s. That's what it sounds like. And then the next song on Amari is that more of like that modern vibe. So I like the way that he played with different flows and tried and was a little more experimental this time around, where KOD was just a whole lot of like one sound. On this one, I felt like he kind of dibbled and dabbled a little bit with everything. So I appreciated that. So yeah, I think pretty good so far. A really good effort from him.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that it was too short. I could say on some songs I would have appreciated another verse, but if that's what he was feeling at the time and that's what he wanted to put down, that's what he wanted to put down. Like I'm not even going to try to judge the shit, because maybe if he did add another verse, it might not have been as hot. I think some songs are just meant to have that really one long verse and then put the hook at the beginning and the end and then just keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm fine
you
with
never
that.
have to like go. Yeah.
Which was what Amari was, which is what Applying Pressure was, which was what another song was. So to me, it felt like, man, there's a lot of one verse songs here. So, but at the same time, this is just what he was feeling, and it still shows the strength of his pen. So I'm not knocking him for that.
Yeah.
It was like what 12 tracks at like 40 minutes.
Yeah, about 40 minutes. Yeah.
What'd you think? No.
To me, it sounds, compared to the last two, it sounds like he's just having fun with it. So you're not really getting, like, I mean, stories are being told, but not how he's done in the past, if that makes sense. Like that narration thing that he's really good, like he tends to lean on.
Storytelling.
Yeah. It's not in there, but you have there are stories, but it's not really stories, just you know, like the one with his kid and like little things like that, and it's more just like his life experiences growing up and well, not growing up, but being grown and, you know, dealing with that shit now. I mean, the one with 21, they talk about, you know, fighting to get out. So there's that too.
Yeah. My Life.
Yeah. And then, was it? Oh, yeah, My Life. And he, you know, he plays, sorry, plays around with, like, the wordplay. And then, you know, there's some more punchlines in there. What I noticed, so the 95 South, right, as soon as it started, like, when I only looked at the track list maybe once. Mm-hmm. So I listened to everything, one complete. Then I went back, and then I didn't realize before I listened to the project, I saw that it was Cam's anniversary for "Come Home with Me," and then I didn't think about it in that time, but I'm like, oh, okay. Like I heard he was on it, but I didn't know who. Like, you know, I mean, I didn't make the connection yet until the second time I'm listening to it. I look at the track list. I'm like, there has to be something here. There's that 95 South, and you have a New York native on there. Yeah. So then I looked into it, and then also like with the anniversary, I'm like, it has to be some type of connection. Well, not really, but you know, because Cam is on it and shit. And Cole does have a thing as an affliction for like hidden meanings and shit. Like I know For Your Eyes Only was there was a few in there, like Easter eggs in a sense. Yeah. So I thought it would be him, like, traveling home. Like, come home with me, like, traveling home and shit like that. Not really. So I looked it up. And when I noticed the track list, so it starts with 95 South. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, and then, you know, you have the New York shit. And then it ends with Hunger on Hillside, which is a street in Queens. So I kind of just think, you know, it begins and ends in New York. So what I get is he's making his way home. And he also has the sample is a Little John and the East Side Boys. I think I'm saying it right. Yeah. Yeah. The East Side Boys. It's a sample. I don't know what song. Like I had to look it up because I heard it was a Little John joint. I know there was a sample in here and I looked it up as for 95 South. So it's that connection of bringing home, but having to go down 95 South. Like you have to take the turnpike down to get back home. Right. And then, you know, then ultimately going back to where his career took off, which was here, right, to maintain that hunger on Hillside.
That's a good way to look on it, yeah.
So, yeah, look at it. I dug a little deep on that one. But I was like, there has to be something.
No, yeah, the hidden meanings of the tracks.
Absolutely. I love that shit. People, I think because he mentioned Diddy's name, we're a little too focused on that. A little, because, like, I heard it. I didn't, I hear Diddy's name. Like, you know, Puff. And I don't know. To me, it didn't. I mean, it
wasn't as big of a deal as people made it out to be.
No.
Like he literally said the last time I got in a fight was with Puff. That was
there was a little bit more than that.
Well, no, that he bought his CD in 7th grade and
he would have thought I was a fan.
He would have thought I was a fan. That's it.
He probably the next couple. I think it's the next few lines. I don't feel like looking it up. The next few lines goes into saying like you don't know. Damn, I gotta look at it.
Well, he said ignorance is bliss. I mean that could have been about anybody. That isn't not necessarily about Puff. I mean the really only lines about Puff were those two lines.
No, the way I saw it was the ignorance is bliss is saying like, damn, like you would have thought blah blah blah. Like this was like he was that Diddy was my favorite rapper. Yeah. And then ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, so now I know shit. Now I know too much.
Yeah. Yeah. That definitely connects to Diddy.
I mean, it could, yeah. But it's still about the fights, but I hear you on that. But as far as, like, mentioning Diddy, completely it was just that. And then people went into, like, what could have happened. Because some people didn't even know about the whole situation at all. And then there was that one little article that came from who the fuck knows. Some source that was inside the party.
I'm not reading any of that shit. I don't know what happened. And I don't think anybody really knows unless they were there. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The account that came out was from, we don't even know who the person was. It was an unnamed source, and they just gave little like bullet points saying this person was with this. Apparently, Diddy was drunk, stepped up to Kendrick about the King of New York line. J. Cole intervened because, you know, Kendrick's probably a smaller dude. And Diddy took offense to that. J. Cole put his hands on him. The crews got in the way. They dispersed. That's pretty much the story that was told by the unnamed source. Nothing really big there.
I'm not. Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't know. But I'm thinking something. I just think he sees Diddy a different way after that. There's no reason. Like, yeah, I think people are putting right now we're putting way too much weight on it. But that's the only, to me, that was the only takeaway, which have everybody else who is not good with fame has said, like, oh, you like pretty much, you make it, you get into Hollywood and, you know, not, how's that saying go? It's not all what it seems to be kind of thing. And that's, it was just one of those lines like, oh, like, I put him up here, and it's just like, damn, ignorance is bliss. I just wish I just didn't. I never had to have that thing with him. I wish I never knew this much about him.
And then the crazier part that people don't pick up on is that's Diddy talking at the end of the track. He's doing a prayer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, if you thought there was any beat to it, like, that's obviously squashed if he's talking on the nigga's album. That's another reason why it wasn't that big of a deal.
No, people made it a big deal, though.
People made it a big deal, but I bet those same people didn't bother to listen that was his voice at the end of the track.
And it's, what was fun, I read somewhere that it was, like, somebody said it was like a bullshit prayer or I forgot what it was. That it just, I don't know, I forgot what they said. But pretty much it just seemed like I think people were reading into it like, oh, if it was on the project, then it was just J. Cole adding it for a jab, which I think was a little extensive too.
It was a little excessive. I think they could have just pieced it up.
Excessive, sorry.
Yeah, they could have just pieced it up.
I mean, if not, I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, that was the only real piece that I took from the whole Diddy comment, was saying, damn, like, I kind of wish I didn't know everything that I know now being famous and knowing all these people, because ignorance is bliss. Yeah. Like, it was better. My relationship with Diddy was just better when he was my favorite rapper.
Yeah, in seventh grade.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
I fuck with that. There was, what else? How'd you feel about him, like, rapping-wise? Or actually beat-wise, production choices? Because this is an album where he's not making the beats himself.
The one with Lil Baby on it, I still have to learn the names, because I've just been listening to it, like, trying not to pay attention.
Pride is the Devil.
Pride is the Devil?
Yeah.
That one, it was fun, because I caught myself, when I first heard it, I caught myself, like, vibing with it. Mm-hmm. But I think it was a little easy to digest. It wasn't too, I was a little worried it'd be like too heavy on the auto-tune, like, you know, from the interlude. Mm-hmm. I was a little worried it was going to be that. And I said it on here. I just think this was just easy to digest. Yeah. And he's having fun with it.
I didn't like the song at first.
No, I didn't like Lil Baby. I'll say that. I didn't like that verse.
I really did like Lil Baby.
Oh, no, it's my headphones. We're good. Sorry, I was like, oh, I do it again.
Yeah, I've been impressed by Lil Baby's past two features, the Drake feature and now J. Cole feature.
I like what he says, but it just doesn't, it's not good on my ear. I think that's what it is.
It felt like that at first, and I read it with the lyrics. I'm like, all right, the way he put and fit the words together with his flow, I was impressed, because I'm starting to learn more and more about his flow. So maybe that's why, to me, it's interesting. But I also like the fact that this guy is not afraid to jump on with the current, like, you know, GOATs of the mainstream. Like, Lil Baby has been, like, he's been labeled like the new hottest nigga. Mm-hmm. And now they're putting him on tracks with Drake. They're putting him on tracks with Cole. And dude is not afraid to step up and, like, you know, steal the show. So I appreciate that.
But I also think that's probably why he's getting invited to, I mean.
Well, because he's the hottest dude around now.
Yeah. Drake asking for a verse, I think, is like, it's not as, if you're a lyricist, it's not as esteemed as, like, Cole, if you think about it in comparison. Like, if I was a rapper and Drake asked me for a verse, it's cool because, all right, I'm going to make some money.
Yeah, I'm going to get heard.
I would lyrically make sure, like, my pen is sharp for Cole.
Yeah, because Cole's going to bring it.
Yeah, you're not thinking my pen is gonna. Well, yeah, I mean, you want the pen because a lot of people are gonna listen because it's a Drake song, but it's your attention to detail. I feel like would be different.
Yeah, I would say so. There probably be some differences, but either way, for me, if I'm a rapper and either one of them asks, I'm still gonna come and give my A game regardless.
But yeah, you give your A game for
regardless.
chumps. No offense, sorry.
We'll leave that at that.
But no, I don't have a problem with Lil Baby. Like, I know he says a lot, and like I've heard other songs of his, and I go through the lyrics. No issue with it. It's just, to me, I can't. It's not somebody I would listen to all the time.
Yeah. I still haven't found myself to listen to his actual album. But
no, either.
I still haven't pushed myself to listen to it. I got it saved in my Apple. I got it there, but I have not gotten myself to listen to it. I only heard the one song, with 42 Doug, the We Paid. That's the only song I've been able to listen to because that was a single and I saw a video for it. Other than that, I have not brought myself to listen to it. But when I've heard him on features, dude kills it. Anytime I see a clip of his on IG, he's killing it. So I'm like, this guy must be good. And a lot of people keep talking about him. They keep mentioning him.
Yeah.
I've seen NBA players say like, yo, Baby's the one. Lil Baby's the one. And I thought for like the past 6 to 8 months, Da Baby was the dude. And all of a sudden it's Lil Baby.
It's different. Because they bring the babies.
The babies.
The babies. Bring in, what the word is. They bring in different,
demographics.
Huh?
Different fan base, different demographic.
No, not really demographic. I mean, maybe a little bit. But I feel like they bring in, different things. I can't find the word, to the table in that sense. Like, they have different assets. They have different abilities.
Different dynamics.
There
okay,
you go.
Got you.
So where I wouldn't really compare them, and they probably but Lil Baby can rap with lyricists, and he's a lyricist at this point because the way he's getting all this information, all this content, and with the flow and the beat, you're just like, wait, people usually rapping to this beat with that voice don't do half of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he stands out more, because he's been able to, because you have lyricists and like true to like their pen game who don't know, who are trying to figure out themselves and trying to figure out new styles and trying to see like shit, like should I just change what I'm doing? Should I, there's nothing wrong with trying different things, but then you could tell when there's people trying to stay current, or they think they're staying current.
Right.
So, sorry. I hope that didn't get picked up on the mic. So I don't know. I just feel like I think that's what makes him such an asset to Cole. So, I mean, Drake, not taking away from Drake, but, I mean, you can't really take anything away from Drake. But I feel like, I mean, he'll get out of track with anybody.
Yeah.
As long as I feel like if he sees there's potential, if he sees they have talent, at the very least, hopefully, he would look for something like that. But Lil Baby, he's going to go far. So I'm not, I give him his props. It's not something I would listen to all the time, but I'm not going to like skip a track. I'm not going to not listen to a song because he's a feature on it.
Yeah, give
I just, like I'm going to always give him a chance. It's just not something that song I wouldn't listen to like that, but it did have me kind of vibing. Like for a second, I wasn't paying attention. I got distracted by something, and I was just like, oh, shit. And then I started like, oh.
She was stuck in my head. Terrified, paranoid, put you over everything. Feeling fun. Yeah.
I think 21 did his shit on here.
Oh, that was My Life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just going like through the features and shit. 21, I think, did his shit on here.
Moray sounds great.
Moray, oh my God.
Sounds phenomenal, which it makes sense because, North Carolina connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So that was dope.
I think
that was
the Dreamville partner.
Boss.
Boss, yeah.
Boss, and also Black.
Oh yeah, Black was on there.
Did vocals on that.
The one
song.
The shit. What is it called? The Let Go of My Hand. Yeah.
Let Go of My Hand, and then I also liked 100 Mil. Like
100 Mil was good too.
Every song pretty much has something that I enjoyed. I think Close sounded like vintage J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Like Close sounded like something that you'd hear off of the warm up, Friday Night Lights. It gave you that vibe.
I think it was nice that he added that, and I think that's what makes, like you were talking about your top 3. I'm looking now. not including mixtapes because I was a huge. I mean, that's how I found him out. I mean, that's when he only had his mixtapes out. Cold World. I think because that September, it dropped September 2011. I just started college.
What, Sideline Story?
Yeah, the Sideline Story. So that was like the soundtrack to my freshman year. I would agree. Forest Hills, Born Sinner, For Your Eyes Only. I think those would have been the three. I really liked For Your Eyes Only, but a few more listens, this might replace For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah, I think so. There really isn't a bad track. Like, I don't really find myself skipping over any tracks. Like, I genuinely give every song a listen, at least from what I've done, from the times I've heard it.
No, there are tracks that I would skip.
All right, what's one you'd skip?
Interlude.
You'd skip Interlude, okay.
Pride is the Devil. That's the one with Lil Baby, right?
Yeah.
There is at least maybe one other track I would skip, but I can't remember it right now. 95 South, but when I first listen to something, I try not to go back and listen again once I hear a song that I like, I'm like, fuck, I can't even go back. Like, I don't skip anything. I'll listen to it. I have to listen to a complete project, even if I don't like the song, like 3 times. So, but once I know, I'm like, okay, so this is not going to grow on me. I know I don't like it. Because, you hear a song, you're like, oh, this is trash.
Yeah.
But then you give it a couple, you're like, oh, okay, it's growing on me.
Yeah, give it a couple more chances.
So I'm going to give it more time. I think Pride is the Devil could grow on me. I would say that, actually.
Could, that hook. That hook stuck in my head.
Interlude, I don't think ever would grow on me.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I don't see that. Close is... Sorry, Close is good, though. Close and 95 South. I think those are my top 2. Yeah. Amari was really good. Damn.
Yeah, Amari's dope.
But once I figure this out, because I've only had 1.5 listens, and I'm not saying this is a classic whatsoever, though.
I think, I was talking to somebody, like Manny, his only complaint was that it was too short. He loved the songs, he just wished like there was extra stuff on the songs. So to him, that kind of killed the vibe for him. But like I was saying before, sometimes it's just better that way. I agree. I mean, it sucks when you have a dope song and you find out it's less than 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like, that always sucks. But that's just the name of the game nowadays. Like, it's just a new vibe. Motherfuckers aren't giving you 9-minute songs all the time. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. And I forget who else I was talking about this. I believe it was Saint. I was like, this is more so of a mixtape than an album. At least it feels that way. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was trying not to. Because Saint was like... I don't know because you haven't heard it. I was like, it's fine. It's not a movie. You're not spoiling anything. It's okay. Yeah. I already know who the features are. It's okay. He's like, okay. So I tried not to listen to your conversation, but so I missed that part because as soon as you said, I feel like I was like, oh no. I was like, and we're gonna pod soon. I was like, let me not. I was like, let me ignore what you're saying right now. I would agree with that though. Now that I've listened,
if it had a mixtape type of vibe to it.
Yeah.
But. I don't know, this makes me more interested in seeing what he's going to do next and when he's going to drop it. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously he's not really doing much promotion right now because he's in Africa playing basketball, which is kind of crazy in itself, too.
Did you see the video of him practicing to his own music? I don't remember what song it was.
He was warming up to his own shit, which was dope.
Yeah, I don't remember what song it was.
And then they showed him. I saw footage today of him airballing a 3. During the second game.
Yeah, I seen him doing it during... No, I think maybe it was that.
No, it was him. There was a video of him practicing.
I think it was practicing.
And he break the shot. This was during the actual game, like today. Mm-hmm. And he threw an air ball. And people were just hating on him about, like, how you going to hate on this guy? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, he's living his dream.
Yeah, let him fucking live.
Like, this is equivalent to me, like I said before, if I can go fucking play professional soccer in, like, Colombia. Same shit. Like, I drop an album on a Friday. Next day, I'm fucking playing for my hometown team in Colombia. Like, that would be a dream come true for me. That would be dope.
Oh yeah, you would be living your best life.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Or playing here in the U.S. Either one. But I'm fucking at my age for soccer. It's a whole nother game. Maybe a 36-year-old could play basketball like Cole is. But
Yeah, soccer's way more.
Soccer's a lot more different.
Yeah. No.
A lot more different.
I wonder who is the oldest. Not who really, but how old is the oldest soccer player
playing right now? Yeah. There was a Japanese guy who played, and he was 51. And he was still playing. But then after him, there's a guy who was about 39, 40, playing in Italy. That's about it. Yeah, the 40s, like 40. Nobody's played really past 42.
Yeah, I figured it's like 20s, maybe mid 30s, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
Motherfuckers are playing with the professionals now at as young as 16.
Yeah.
Because they just have nonstop stamina. Because you're running about 5 miles every game.
Yeah.
So it's just nonstop running for 90 minutes.
It's insane.
Excuse me, for 45 minutes and then a 15-minute break. But same thing, you're still running. The clock does not stop.
Mm-hmm.
So as a soccer player, like, you got to have your lungs right. But for those old dudes, they keep them in the middle of the field. They don't make them run as much. And they have their teammates do all the work until they get the ball and they do their magic. That's usually how it works.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
I've seen a couple at least a couple players when we have the matches playing.
Mm.
I'm like, should he really be on the field right now? Just watching it like.
But it's just like it's like
it's
Brady.
just some salt and pepper and shit.
Like Tom Brady, if he didn't have a good offensive line, he would have
Oh.
been retired a long time ago because he
Hell
would have gotten his
yeah.
ass hit so many times.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that he's 42, it's because he's got a good fucking line.
Yeah, there's the only way. Because I remember I heard. I feel like I almost hear. I hear probably every season. How is he still playing? Because he makes sure that he's protected. Like
yeah, and he probably like gives those dudes mad bonuses. That's what I would think. Because I would protect them and buy them extra shit every time.
That's like
Give them part of my salary, whatever, because
Yeah.
they make me look good.
pretty much.
That's how it is in football. The quarterback is only as good as the lines
Actually
protect
pretty
them.
smart.
What's up?
Like paying them off. Yeah. it's pretty
Yeah,
smart.
shit.
Yeah.
You should get them at Christmas time. Buy them and their wives and
Because
gifts
they're getting paid to
kids'
do
gifts.
that, but at the same time, pay them a little extra.
because they don't get the recognition.
Go the extra mile because those are the ones that get the most, like, what is it called? And I noticed the pattern when people that like old NFL players started coming up saying like, oh, this like concussions and like this is happening. It's not the same
They're
anymore.
the most affected by the shit.
And their bodies and everything. Yeah, they're the most affected by this shit. And I feel like they just. I remember I looked up salaries at one point, like the averages, and
They don't make a lot. They really
no.
don't.
I mean, I know football players in general, technically, out of all sports, don't get paid that much.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me, but yeah, they don't get paid that much, even though they take the most hit. But it's because they're not. I mean, I'm not agreeing with it, but the whole thing is because it's a liability. Like, why would you spend so much on somebody who you can literally play one game and be out?
Yeah.
Out for like the rest of your life. You're not going to be playing football ever again. So that's why they do it, which
Yeah.
is insane to me.
It's crazy because it's like having 5 bodyguards.
Yeah.
The whole offensive line, so they need to be protected. You got to take care of them. You want to make sure that they're well fed.
Yeah, because they're going to have to. Whew.
I've heard stories of dudes just not wanting to protect the quarterback, and the quarterback gets his ass knocked. Just because they wanted to do that because they were frustrated.
Like Eli. No, let me stop.
But back to Cole, and we were straying away from the original question, which I asked you because we talked about the features. How did you feel about the beats?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I liked it. I liked that there was like I felt like I got a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
that
like
makes
it's a
sense.
95 South felt like a 2000s Dipset beat.
Like it was. It was a wide range, which I was just worried, and I said it before. Like an interlude. I don't want an album of this. I really don't. I didn't want an album of that. And I liked how like he had like Murray and like Black like on these tracks to kind of lighten it up too, and it was just everything like sonically was good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean even like interlude, the beat is fire. The Pride is the Devil, the beat is fire.
Yeah.
Beats wise, 100% happy with it.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was about to be like, no, 100%.
Yeah, the only drawback I think was with the interlude and the climb back being back to back. I think I mentioned this before.
Actually,
they sound
yeah.
the same. To me, those songs sound the same. I don't know why, but they just do. And I get those confused, interlude and climb back.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think other than that, that was probably the only bad part.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like the interlude was needed.
No,
it's an interlude. At the same time, I get it.
I honestly, I didn't a part of me didn't expect interlude to be on the project, just because interlude. I just assumed if you're gonna drop an interlude, it's just an interlude to the album. If you're gonna drop a single named interlude, it doesn't have to be. It could be. I just thought it was gonna be Lucy. I mean,
feels like a Lucy. Doesn't
technically, to me, it does feel like Lucy. To me, I understand why they were together because it's the interlude for the climb back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think maybe I just really hate interlude.
Probably.
I'm starting to hate
the more we talk about it, I'm like, damn, I really don't like that song.
I'm like, I really
I heard it, and it didn't hype me up for the album because I knew the album was coming anyway. And it's like, all right, this is your single? Okay, cool. But, nah, I don't really care for Interlude that much.
No, it was
to me, it almost seems like kind of fillerish in a way.
Yeah.
In a way.
Like there's a reason he wanted 12 tracks.
Ugh.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Because he was saying...
Maybe not.
Maybe not. No, he was saying shit on there, so... It wasn't like he was saying nothing. It just wasn't in a pretty package, pretty much. That's how I see it. Interlude was just not in a pretty package.
It was not a pretty
I
package.
think Pride is the Devil. I can listen to that over Interlude. The Climb Back, I can kind of remember the beat, but for some reason I can't remember the actual song, which I don't know if it's a good thing.
The Climb Back?
But I've only heard it. I stopped. So my half, because I only heard it like
1.5 times.
Yeah. So I stopped as soon as I got to Interlude. I was like, I can't do it. I can't. So that's it. So I just heard up to 8. I mean, technically it's on half. I have 4 tracks left.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Climb Back I can't remember right now.
Everything
Close,
comes
I remember.
back around full circle. Why do lies sound pleasant but the truth hurts?
Okay, you're right.
This is that coming back to life shit.
Yeah. Because I
But
could
that to
only
me
really like.
almost
I
sound
remember
like
the
Interlude.
beat, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's rapping the same, I think it is too.
It's the flow.
Well,
The flow was kind of the same. Yeah.
A little bit. And people were saying, I was telling the people, it's like, that's just that Migos flow. Like, Cole is doing a lot of that now lately. Ever since KOD, he was experimenting with it. Then we see like the freestyles and stuff, and he's doing it here too.
Yeah, he's experimenting. Like in the
Using
beginning,
auto-tune.
Yeah, to me in the beginning it was him experimenting, like maybe it'll go away, and then it didn't go away,
Right.
and
now we're here.
And now we are here.
And now we're here, and this is gonna be like a regular thing.
But I enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's like a favorite, but it's close to
Only
it.
time will tell because you gotta listen to it more anyway.
If we take account mixtapes, then it's not at number 4 whatsoever. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, For Your Eyes Only is like not number 3. That's for sure.
Now I gotta go back and listen to For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah, I really liked that one though. I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
That was the short one, right? It was the EP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the first time I heard it?
When?
I was at my laundromat doing laundry.
And you popped it in there? That's what's up.
So I was listening to while I was doing laundry, and then the laundry song came on. I was just, and I'm here for, and I was like fully doing laundry.
Yeah.
So way before COVID. So obviously, like I'm there folding the clothes and everything, and I was just like, I remember folding. I was like, you're folding clothes. I'm folding clothes with J.
Wanna
Cole.
fold clothes for you.
I was like, I'm kind of just folding clothes with J. Cole. That's cool. It was just a funny moment to me that I think. I don't remember many times when I first hear something, and that was one of the things.
You remember where you were? Yeah, that's dope.
But I did, real quick before we wrap this up, I did watch the doc again, just because I'm like, looking for hidden meanings and shit. Meanings. I feel like I said meetings. So I watched it again. You know, he asked like, why is it so hard to be why is it so hard to be great in rap as you get older?
Mm-hmm.
And then, and he spouts off like, what we already talked about. I don't want to waste time talking about it again. But I felt like this was almost the answer to that.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Like it was, he talks more about his life when he was kind of secretive about it. Very secretive about it. And I don't know. I feel like he kind of gives that answer in there.
Yeah, he tries to.
Even more so than the doc. Because the doc just felt like, I read somewhere somebody related to a Nike campaign. Like, just do it. Which is funny because that's what I always say too. I'm like, do it. Just do it. Anybody says, oh, I want to do just do it, bitch. Just do it.
Nah,
but yeah, go ahead.
No, it was cool. I mean, the doc, I'm trying to remember the doc again now because I only saw it once, and it was like when it first premiered. But
well, kind of like his friend saying like, well, you want to do this music thing, you got to do blah 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 whatever. He's like, you got to stop partying. He's like, y'all drinking and smoking with me. He's like, well, we're not trying to do this music shit.
Yeah.
So then he just talks about, perseverance and trying to stick it out and all that shit. But it really kind of I didn't realize that until I watched it over, and then it was right after I listened to the first time.
I mean, the one thing I remember about the documentary that I really enjoyed was him saying that, I guess this album was him doing the training and, like, doing the steps, like, kind of like Kobe, like going in the gym, hitting the shots, making sure you make 10,000 shots before you end the day. So he's, like, making sure that I write a verse every day. If I don't write a verse or write a song, then I haven't completed my work and I haven't done my training right. So it was that, like, he put the work in. He felt like he's finally mastered his craft and he wanted to showcase it. Probably not in an album form, but more of a mixtape form. Like, yo, I still got this pen shit down.
Yeah.
I think that's what this was.
And I'm a huge fan of mixtape Cole.
Yeah, but this wasn't classic mixtape Cole, but it still
classic.
felt like a mixtape still.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like an
Yeah.
album. So you just like, all right, well, then it's not an album, then it must be a mixtape. But it wasn't
But I
Friday
feel-
Night Lights Cole.
No.
Or Warm Up or Come Up.
Yeah, no. It was, he definitely had song, even like Warm Up and Come Up. I feel like he had, was it Come Up? Yeah. I felt like he had longer songs on there, for sure.
Yeah, and actual freestyles over other people's beats, too. So this was a different type of, it was like an album / mixtape.
Yeah, all the sampling and
A
everything.
mixtape album,
Which
if you
people
want.
complained about that, and I'm so tired of people complaining about samples. Like, there are things, to me,
I don't see what's wrong with the sample.
to me, the only thing that's better than sampling is live instrumentation, and that is it. Those are my top two.
Yeah, but like hip
I
hop
love
is
that
built on
shit.
sampling. I don't know what people are complaining about. That's
Yeah.
what this genre is built on.
Yeah, and at this point, 40 years into this game, what else? I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, what else? People are making beats. We just had a whole session listening to amazing beats.
Yeah, my man, get it. My man, chill out with the wire. Y'all niggas is. What's up with y'all, man?
No,
What's up with
Aries is fat, but he's delicate. He's good. Don't worry. He won't knock it down.
Fluffy ass nigga.
It's I kind of want to like give him a bath just to see but no, he's all fluffy.
Sorry, we'll continue. I
Oh,
apologize.
sorry. So not to take away, like people are gonna make new beats, but I feel like we're getting to the time that there is so much out there within 40 years, so many songs that are out there, so many beats on tap that if you sample from them, you just keep it building. I just feel like hip hop started with sampling. Like,
No.
I just don't get it.
Fuck those people. I don't need them in my life. You don't need them in your life. You should just mute them or block them or whatever you gotta do. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. It's just like random.
Blasphemy.
It is blasphemy.
Sacrilegion.
It is. But oh shit, we gotta.
They should suck a sack of nuts.
Oh, my baby.
Oh, my baby.
God.
And where's the other one? Where's Gayfield?
You're such an ass.
We're back on.
Yeah. Do I keep that?
Yeah, you can keep that if you want.
Okay.
Like, look at that gay ass cat of yours.
Aw, cat.
Gay
He
cat.
is. I mean, maybe he could be a little fruity. He's
Whatever,
always
dude.
winking.
We back, man. So we've already talked about Check It. We went through a little bit of music with the Cole album. We'll obviously get into more music next week. There's a couple new things coming out, I'm sure, this week. Oh, I'm very excited for
Are you scared?
the release of Covert Coupe. I'm actually going to listen to that on the way home, which is fucking great because I haven't heard it in years. Currency and Alchemist, they made a mixtape about probably 10 years ago called Covert Coupe. And it's finally coming out on streaming
About
platforms.
fucking time.
So I am so fucking excited because that was like the first time that I ever heard Freddie Gibbs. Yeah, on a song with him and Currency, and Freddie killed that shit. I think it's called Scottie Pippins. Man, I can't wait to hear this shit at midnight. And I'm going to be bumping it all weekend, so I'm fucking excited for that. But moving on.
It's lit. All right.
Yeah, very lit. Shout out to Currency. Shout out to Alchemist.
I
Yeah,
hate that word, and I can't stop saying it.
What?
Sorry.
It's lit.
Lit. Especially when it first came out.
Oh, yeah, I hated it. It's litty too titty.
Yeah.
We're getting
Well,
litty too titty
My
out here.
cigarette is lit. I'm not saying this party is lit. The fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I'm confused. But yeah,
lit.
go ahead.
Well,
I felt so old when
Well,
that
shit,
word came out.
I didn't really use swag that much when that was out.
No, swag I did.
I kinda,
But it was like more of a sarcastic way.
yeah, but and I would say like someone, oh, check out his swag. He got the nice swag on. I would never say use it to say put it in place of cool or dope. Like, yo, this just came in the mail for me. Oh, swag. Like I wasn't saying like that.
Yeah,
Niggas was saying it like that. And I never liked that
no,
shit.
No.
No.
I think I would like refer to it like, oh, you think you got a little swag.
Yeah, it was a synonym for style.
Yeah, that was about it. I would use it as that.
But now I find myself saying drip, and I don't like that. I find myself caught in the current lexicon of vocabulary of street slang.
Current lexicon.
I find myself caught up in the current lexicon.
The current lexicon. So I want to put that in the bio somewhere. I'm trying to figure out like where can I put that?
That'll be the name of the episode, the current lexicon.
Sure.
There we go, right there.
Okay.
All right, but moving on. Yes, so the topic we wanted to get into, podcasting. And when it comes to podcasts, you guys know we have a favorite podcast. And if you've been listening to the episodes, you would know that this podcast has been going through a bunch of turmoil in the past month or so. It's a Joe Budden podcast, a JBP. Joe, Parks, Rory, Maul, Savon, and the rest of the crew. They've been going through it. And it's caused Rory and Maul to have to leave the podcast. Mm-hmm. Now, just recently, they put out a response to what was going on from Rory being fired and Maul leaving the show. They put out their response. And I noticed the studio they did it at is actually, it's funny, this studio that they're recording at right now is WTF Media Studios, which is partly owned by one half of the, what's the name, the horror podcast, that she's on the Joe Budden Network.
Oh, Bridget Kelly? No, not Mandy.
Mandy and the other one. But what's the name of their podcast? To do with like, it's got whores in it.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. I knew it before too.
I'll look it up. I got you. My handy dandy laptop.
Yeah. It's Horrible Decisions.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
See? There you go. They had horror in it. There you go. So Horrible Decisions podcast. But also it is where Charlemagne films his podcast.
Interesting.
And the other owner of it.
And the plot thickens.
And the other owner of it is the cameraman for the other part of Brilliant Idiots for
really?
Andrew. Yeah. So it's very, very coincidental that they're doing it right there, which is crazy. Interesting. That's why it looked so familiar when I saw it. But like I said, they put out a 1 hour long response video. It was put on Vimeo, and they were selling it for $2 so people could check and see their side of the story. Very interesting stuff that we were made privy to. And I don't know about you, it's completely changed my opinion on how I see Joe Budden as a businessman and a leader. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying, based on what was told, seems like Joe was hiding stuff, and we don't know the reason why.
No, but
it seems shady.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been a fan of Joe for a long time, so I was there for like Joe Budden TV, and like I'm one of the fans that came from his music.
Yeah,
very few of us, but. We're a loyal bunch. We follow. Yeah. And I've seen kind of, there's been, shady shit, and he even like, we'll get to it later, the IG live that he does, he says, I forgot what it was. He was like, I make mistakes. I've been making mistakes on the internet since I was 21 and blah, 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 whatever. And it just made me think of like, so you're saying, you're calling these mistakes, but sometimes they seem a little not mistakey. You know what I mean? Like they just seem like, no, you just got caught, or you went about it in a shady way. Like when he fired Marissa, that was shady as shit.
Yeah, you had to tell me more about that because I didn't even wasn't really listening to the podcast when she was on it. I maybe seen like or heard maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah, because she was up to 70 whatever, and then Maul came right after. I think there was maybe one. No, he literally like she stopped coming, and then he was there, and it was just, and then they later addressed it. Okay, because he was kind of like what we did, just wasn't gonna address it, and then eventually had to address it. Yeah. But it was the. Kind of the one, but it was a little weird the way he said it, and then she just got on No Jumper. But I feel like I'm skipping ahead. So do you want to just start with this one? Yeah, let's start with the clip of Rory and Maul's response video. I guess we'll just call it that. So we Sade went over it, and we found a couple clips. So we're gonna play for you guys. Yeah. Well, this is I just did a compilation of like the most important parts. All right, bet. So let's go play a little bit of it. Yeah, and then we could just stop at whatever.
Cool.
Just let me know.
Because it's like, yo, why do you always get so hostile and so argumentative when we're trying to just get the business side right and focused and taken care of?
Which isn't even a large part of the business, honestly.
It's not.
There's so much more
But
to
it's like, fam, you got to remember, again, we're profit partners. So we have to see the money that's coming in. How else will we know what the fuck we getting? And then he had the nerve to say, one of the last conversations we had, he tells me, oh, you got a calculator, right? So when he started talking like that, and I told you this, I said, fam, I'm not even sure who this nigga is anymore. And everybody telling you like, yo, listen, I did business with him. Watch that nigga, man. I'm like, Joe ain't gonna do that to me. That's my nigga. He ain't doing that with me.
It honestly never even crossed my mind.
Never crossed my mind.
That. So like we can always just pause and play it in. So when he said that, and they both said it a few times throughout the whole thing, like we didn't really see this coming, or Rory will say like, you know, we were naive, and you know that there were cues. I just feel like I get it. Like I've been in that place where you have a friend and you're thinking like everything's cool, and then all of a sudden they just switch up on you. Mm-hmm. I understand you miss the red flags, or like relationships, like with a like spouse or partner, you miss red flags. But I know, and Rory's like a newer friend, but Rory, they've both been around when he has done some shady shit to people. Like Rory didn't even agree when he fired Marissa. So it's like, did you really think that you guys were like solid on this?
Well, I think they saw the red flags, but they just always, and I think they mentioned it there, they figured that they would just be worked behind the scenes. It would get worked out, and you know, that's the homie, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They did allude to that as well. So the red flags had been seen. They've been noticing them. Obviously, like Maul mentioned, they'd been warned by other people before about doing business with them. But because of the fact that him and Maul were so close and have lived together and have spent so much time, he would never expected that from him.
Yeah.
Like, all right, fam, it's just weird. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And for a while, my energy started to disappear because, like I said, I don't even know who I'm dealing with anymore at this point. Mm-hmm. And I know money changes niggas, and I understand that.
No, it doesn't. Money doesn't change anyway.
Money magnifies who you are.
Makes you more of what you already are.
It magnifies who you are. And I get it, bro. Like, I understand.
And again, this is not an assassination character. Sorry to cut you off. It's not an assassination character because I don't want to go in the same route that they went.
I'm not assassin.
I'm not saying that this is this. I don't want to make this into this. I don't make this.
I know.
But you are.
I was going to pause at the same thing.
but you, because they said that so many times. It's like you can say that all fucking day. Yo, I'm not really doing this and this. But if you're doing it this way, you most likely are. He went at you guys. It's only right that you guys do this. But just because you don't say it doesn't mean you're obviously taking the high road. You're still stooping down to his same level. Yeah, and the only thing that, and these clips are all in order. They're just, you know, I chopped out all the extra shit and the repetitive stuff. But what also I took out was him talking about the start of the podcast when it was, I'll name this podcast later. Yeah. And him responding to the shot that he started episode 20 when he's technically started before Parks, I believe. Yeah, Parks wasn't the engineer. He mentioned that it was his email that was used to start the SoundCloud. Yeah, he got the guy, and he even said it when he actually joined the podcast, like the first, I think he says episode 6. Which is weird that I remember that. Cause when it was me, you, and Q, I was like, it's within the, like, I think around episode 5 or some shit. But anyway, yeah, he always talked about, oh, my boy does the artwork, like, you know, whatever. Or, oh, I'll make sure my boy does the artwork. Like, you know, I'll make sure he does it this way. So you've been hearing since the beginning. If you've been listening since the beginning, you know that he's been, you know, part of damn near everything behind the scenes. Right. So that's what I thought was weird when I found out, because I got like a synopsis, I guess, of the episode that I missed. Because I, as a Joe Budden fan, I just can't stand when he gets in that condescending, ranting bag. It reminds me of, it's like the Drake shit all over again. I just can't. So it's. Joe
has done great things with money and great positive things, because I do think there is a good part of him, but there's also this other part.
Right. It's all about you my man. Listen, if it's some bread out here to get, go get it. And now it's to a point where you saying things and, you know, you got other niggas in the room saying things and chiming in. And I'm like, yo, what's up with y'all niggas? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, shit is starting to really become clear to me. Like, Oh, you niggas been having little conversations and conspiring shit for a minute. You niggas been trying to like set shit, playing with the chess pieces and try to set shit up to look a certain way for a while now, because now that the shit is out the bag, I'm starting to see everybody's true feelings on certain things.
So we were talking off air. We're not really going to get into it because we don't know for sure, so we're not going to do it, about Parks. So I kind of had a feeling when they were first on the episode, like Parks did, it's not that he was like shading them, but kind of like, like, well, I came back to record because this is an income, and there are people here. Like it was some shade thrown, and then I only heard 20 minutes of the deleted episode, and it kind of gave me that sense too. Like he was okay, so he's gonna be throwing shade.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we're gonna break this down in essence, Parks, Savon, Screen Man, all the people that handle the cameras and bring the equipment, they're the ones that help run the show. They are the workers. Parks just happens to have a microphone as well. So when you compare that to what Rory and Maul do, they're basically in essence just co-hosts. They just show up, sit down, and talk. So I can see where the workers would become a little annoyed at these guys complaining about stuff. Granted, they have the right reason. They have their reasons to complain as well. They're on a percentage type, whatever it's called, quote, percentage contract situation with Joe.
Percentage participants. I forgot what the fuck.
Something like that. Yeah, but they're getting a percentage of the profits. And their main beef, their only beef, according to this video, is that when they ask for the money to find out, hey, what exactly are we making so we can figure out our percentage.
So I'll just.
Sorry, I know. All right.
Yeah,
you're right.
No, you're good. You're good.
Foreshadowing. Sorry.
You're good. Go.
But that's the main beef, and I can understand where the dilemma is. But it's just like, and I was thinking about it too. The more I see it, I was like, I'm thinking about stuff with me and you. Like, let's just say, we get picked up on this pod and we're in a money situation. There is no doubt in my mind that I have no issue with me not taking 50% because I know what you've put into this. So if there becomes a percentage talk, I'm never going to ask you for 50% of this pod because I know how I came into it. I know the amount of work that I helped to put in, and I know exactly what you do, which is a hell of a lot more than anybody else that's been involved in this pod has ever done. So that's why, to me, I understand this type of beef, and I would never get mad at you. You'd be like, hey, I want a little more than 50. Yeah, you deserve more than 50. Absolutely. I know what I bring to the table. I know I bring my little stuff and everything, and I help, but mostly I'm just a co-host. I help bring my side of things. Yeah. But at the same time, I didn't buy the equipment. I didn't buy the mics. I don't have the laptop. I don't have the spot that we're recording at. I just bring a few things here and there. So I know what it is. But it's also us doing it too. So if we had a whole crew of people, it'd be a little different. But I get the beef, but at the same time, I know you wouldn't pull that shit that Joe would pull.
No, it's funny. Listening to this, I want to play more, but I'll just fuck it. I was gonna wait till the end. Listening to this, I would do 50.
Nah, I couldn't take 50. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't take
you don't realize like how much, like whether I'm on my game or not, like you still like you're the A mic. Technically, like you're Joe. I'm Parks and Rory.
I don't want to say I'm Joe at all.
Okay, sorry.
I don't want to say that. I'm like, honestly, like, and another thing is because this is straight, and the more I hear from people, like, this is straight Virgo tendencies. And I'm just like, oh, God, no. Like, yeah, like me and Joe, the only thing me and Joe have in common besides us being rappers, or he's not really a rapper anymore, but we're Virgos. And it's just like, I don't want that to be what now the rest of the world thinks Virgos are. Like, we're difficult, we're narcissistic. Because that's another thing I've been seeing.
That was a few of you guys.
Classic narcissistic behavior.
No, it is, yeah.
Like, the guy's afraid of success so much that when he gets himself in a position where he's finally winning, he finds a way to fuck it up because of his own greed or his own fear of fucking it up himself. And then he actually does end up fucking it up. Any good thing, whether it's marriage, friendships, business, he's fucked it up because of his narcissistic behavior. And if that's a Virgo trait, I don't want to be associated with any of that shit. Which is why, like, I feel like, man, I used to, like, not idolize myself at this guy, never that.
He was born in August. If you want to
be technical, sure. All right, then that's good to know then. Not a September Virgo, fuck that. Then I feel much better. But at the same time, still, it's just like, man, if I got even a little bit of that, I'm trying to get rid of that and fight that demon because I don't want to be known in that, like, at all.
No, I don't. You don't come off as narcissistic to me.
I don't. Well, I'm sure some people would see it. in a different situation. But
I think maybe like on the surface, maybe. But I never gotten that.
No, I mean, no,
vibe from you.
exactly. I don't like to be that guy. Like I'm seeing what Joe is, and I'm seeing how they're talking about it. I'm like, nah, I don't want that ever to be said about me.
No, but I know that like, yeah, I've been planning this podcast, and since anybody who has been on it before, and it wasn't just her, it was actually somebody else too, and that episode never aired, but I've been I know I have put in a lot of work, but for me it's because I wanted to make this happen.
Yes.
It's not like there are things I do for people no charge, and I have done and still do, and I know I've been told that by several people that I look up to, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you should be charging for that. And, so I know, like, it's just the part in me that, like, no, like, this is something that I've been wanting to do since 2000. No, they started 2015, so 2015, 2016.
Yeah, 6 years.
So this is something that I've been planning on for a while now, and it's just like I would just put on the back burner. I don't have the right people. I can't afford this shit. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But regardless of me buying certain equipment, so everything sounds right, making sure that we have a place to record because my boyfriend has COVID. There's little things like that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Like because I think if I get too wrapped up in what I have to do here, you can still carry it.
I mean, I can try. I mean, definitely. I mean, it's not. I mean,
because I am dry,
Oh God.
You should just get a new co-host.
Oh,
no, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a joke. It never bothered me. I thought it was funny.
Okay, I was hoping it wouldn't. All right.
But at least we are self-centered. We've been labeled. Sorry, I said that wrong. We've been labeled self-centered, but not narcissistic. So at the very least, we've been labeled that.
Yeah, it's just no. It's come to a time where, like, I've been so humble and have let so much shit slide by, and have seen so many red flags appear.
Yeah.
That I've tried to be kind of like Rory and Mal in the sense, like, nah, you know what? It'll get fixed. It'll work itself out. But then I'm reminded of all the times when I didn't speak up and I let shit continue to happen, and it only ended with me becoming more frustrated with myself, more of an emotional wreck, more of overthinking when I didn't need to.
Yeah.
So now it's just come to the point where, you know what, I'm going to either handle this head on, or I'm just going to say fuck it and leave this shit alone.
Yeah, because which I've told you that, and like past things, like just speak up, just say it, like, because you.
Yeah, but other times it's not even worth it. That's also what I've learned. It's just some shit is just not worth even like.
No, but
discussing.
that frame of thinking, that mindset. What was the fuck I was gonna say, leads you to be like, okay, like, never mind, but then everything starts to snowball and pile up, and then all of a sudden now this little tiny string that means nothing, this little tiny, like, hey, whatever the fuck it's called,
bill, not bill,
straw. Was it straw? I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever. But like, no, it is straw. Straw that broke the camel's back. There you go. So it is straw.
Yeah.
It literally breaks the back. So then you just kind of like, it, for outsiders who don't know, like when you're venting to me about certain things, for anybody else it's like, well, that was kind of abrupt, but no, it's been something that you're just like, it's not worth it, it's whatever, I'm just gonna keep on. And then at one point you're just like, I'm done. So it was almost like Maul. You're in that sense where you're just like, red flag, whatever, and then you're like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah, that's pretty much what how stuff goes. Yeah, at least how I've been handling it lately.
Yeah.
But then when you do that, it's like, all right, I'm doing it for my peace of mind. It's like you just end up coming off like an asshole. But it's like, no, it's not really that. It's just I don't really have desire to talk about any of this shit anymore. Like, it's just I'm just too grown for this shit.
Yeah. And you've also, when you're venting it out to somebody, then it just seems like, okay, whatever.
And it just seems like it's stupid.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
And then what's the other thing? But yeah, no, we're gonna play.
No, we'll keep going.
You're getting 50%, whether you like it or not.
Never.
I'm never arguing about money, especially not with my niggas. I'm not doing that. But if every time we present some shit about accounting and you want to start arguing to them, well, audit me then, fam, I'm never taking my niggas to court. And the first thing you say is, if y'all try to start a podcast, I'm suing the pants off of y'all.
I believe that.
Who are you, my nigga?
You would do that.
Like, who did you?
That is some. I'll say that's some Virgo shit. to just say the sarcastic, nonchalant shit that might come off as a joke, but when you say it in that situation, it can be taken super serious.
Yeah.
Because myself, I'm known to say shit and people don't know whether or not to take it serious or not. Because I can come off very dry. So it looks like I'm being serious, but I'm not. And it kind of throws people off. And it's happened so much to the point now with like my family, I'll say something very dry and I'm being serious and they just think I'm joking.
Yeah.
And it becomes super, super annoying. And it's something that I have to work on.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Because now people just automatically think, oh, well, Pro's just funny. And then anytime that I don't feel like being funny and I'm serious, everybody's like, yo, what's wrong? You okay? You okay? And I'm like, yeah, why can't I just be quiet?
Since you can't please everybody.
Exactly, because it's like you either sarcastic or what. Like, we need it. Like, we need you to be this way, Pro. So I can't ever be anything else. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, this shit, like, maybe, like, really, like, think about myself.
It really did. This made everybody think about their own relationships, their friendships, how they handle business with friends. This really is, like...
That's why, like,
that's why it's so important, I think.
That's why I didn't want to just... I didn't know how to clip this.
Right.
Because, yeah, like, I got... I mean... I got down to the important stuff, but it's not short.
Like, I almost wish we had recorded the conversation with Q.
Yeah.
Like, that was a great combo.
That was.
To get into the gist of it.
I'm going to be like, you want to be Parks? What if I just set a mic in front of you? You don't always have to talk, but you could just chime in.
No, I like his opinions on stuff. So
he always had, you could tell, like, because I don't always notice it, like where I was sitting, but you'll see it. I see you look at him, and I'll turn. I'm like, oh, you got something to say, don't you?
Yeah, no, I can see it because he's very smart as well. So he has a really great opinion, a great outlook on things. So I enjoy talking to him.
All right,
Rosman. Who did you just turn into? Everything that we stood for on this podcast all these years about, you know, corporate fucking over the creatives and this, that. Like, I've seen Joe do fucked up shit in business and music to companies and labels, but I don't care about that because they owe us anyway, so fuck them. Mm-hmm. Never in a million years did I think you would be sitting somewhere talking crazy about me. Not a nigga like me, a nigga that ain't been nothing but stand up with you. You could steal from me. You could take money from me. You could do whatever you want. But one thing you not going to do is defamate my character and try to put me out here to the people like I'm some nut ass nigga. We not doing that. That's not never. Fuck this podcast. Fuck this money. Fuck all of this shit. You not going to defamate my character, my nigga. I've been too solid of a nigga.
That is what I really felt. That was me quarantine. All that shit that was going on with us.
Okay.
That was me during the quarantine. I was like, no, you're not gonna. I mean, I didn't use a fake word, but like, you're not gonna do this. Da, da, da. It was Velvet. That was like, I think she was telling her grandmother, because her grandmother, she didn't have me on speaker, but I was so loud that her grandmother heard, who is hard of hearing. This woman is hard of hearing. She's hard of hearing, and she heard me, and she said, she's like, wait, is that Sade? What's going on? What's going on? like grandma ready to fight and shit.
No, I feel, you felt like your character was being defamed as well.
Yeah, and no, like Velvet said it. Well, technically, her grandmother said it. She's like, no, that's defamation of character. No.
That's serious shit. No, people be out here talking that shit. No, I feel you 100% on that.
So I really felt like that, and like he goes in a lot more. He says that a few more times, and like a little bit, it'll get more into Rory's side of it too, where he gets pissed off, but the way like he raises his voice, that was a serious like.
That was crazy.
Like you really fucked me over. And
if you really examine this shit, it started with as soon as Joe started getting a little bit of money, it went from the frocks, to then the teeth, to then the fucking Amiri hats, those hats, and when he started wearing those hats, these expensive fucking brand hats.
The hat was the downfall.
The hat was the downfall. I was okay with the Pharrell hats, with the top hats.
Oh yeah, I was okay with that. The fedoras
and the frocks, and then the teeth, and then just from there.
I feel like I kind of felt
the teeth was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, so for sure, that's what I was about to say. Like the teeth kind of like gave me like,
like okay. Because it's like they said, the money doesn't change you; it just magnified more of what you are. So this always was Joe.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But Joe just never was in a position where he could make that type of money. Mm-hmm. And who knows? Had he made that money rapping, this pod would have probably never happened.
No, it wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have happened. And he probably just would have been an asshole, but we wouldn't have known about it as much as we know about this now.
Yeah. I mean, Grant, I think he would in some way still done, not the media thing, but like Joe Budden TV. Like, I feel like at some point he might get back into that, but the podcast itself, because, I mean, he said it in that 20-minute thing that he knew he wanted to do, like, he wanted to get back into radio because he had that short stint.
Yeah.
I forgot what Hot 97 maybe? I don't know. I don't remember.
Hot 97.
Yeah, so he had that short stint. I remember that one. I thought it was like an interview. I didn't know he was like the host. I was like,
he was really doing. He had a slot and everything.
yeah. So but anyway, so I feel like at some point, like, he mentioned it, but at the same time, if he wasn't struggling for as long as he did, shit, maybe even Joe Budden TV would have never happened.
Probably not, but this is what happened. And
Joe Budden TV started after the Pump It Up, right?
yeah. This was
Yeah,
like
so-
that was a way of connecting with the fans. Do you have the clip of them discussing the Crooked Eye stuff?
Yeah, it's coming up.
And thinking friends.
Because I'm thinking you my man.
There was cues to it.
It's plenty of times we traveling, we touring. I'm like, yo, fam, how am I getting the same payout when we sell 1,500 seats and we sell 2,000 seats? You think I'm stupid? How am I still getting the same money for that? That don't even add
Real
up.
quick, sorry. This is why I couldn't take this out. Because I was.
It don't even make-
Oh, sorry. I rewatched it and I'm like, how can I take this out? I'm like, I didn't know how.
No, but he's making a great point. It's
Yeah.
like, look, it's simple enough. He already explained. Look, if I'm getting this amount for 1,500 seats, why am I getting the same amount when it's 500 more? It makes no sense at all.
And for anybody, you could listen to this podcast. For anybody who didn't want to sit there for an hour.
Makes sense.
Well, I mean,
But what we did.
there will be a time.
That's the
stamp. Just
homie. We'll fix it. We'll figure it out. Let's just keep it moving. Let's just keep growing the show. Cool. But enough is enough, fam. You thinking your friend would never do you
Being
like
naive.
that.
I remember that conversation vividly when we brought up those percentages and then brought up a lump sum of what that would be. And he said, oh, I wouldn't give y'all that percentage off that lump sum. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's how a percentage works, Joe.
See, but see, you know what it is, man, and it's to me, and this is just my perspective. I feel like Joe feels like a lot of the success of this podcast is based off of his music career. I've been in some of these cities. It wasn't this many people weren't showing up for you. You know how certain shit has started to like come together. And he said something at the Highline Ballroom show we did. He had went outside, he had recorded the people wrapped around the corner, and he came back and he said, yo, I got these niggas wrapped around the block. I got the line around the corner. And I looked at him and I said, Joe, you don't have the line around the corner.
Very true. Pretty much putting Joe in his place.
Yeah.
Joe had a moment of like he saw fans
Yeah.
around the goddamn building, and he's never experienced that in his life, and he was feeling himself. He walked back down to the backstage area and told the guys, look, I got these people lined around the block. And as soon as he said that that can rub people the wrong way, especially knowing it's a team thing. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, both these guys were not there from episode 1, or
Yeah.
Roy was a little bit after, but to say that type of thing, knowing that this is a whole team effort, is kind of weird. I mean, changing it to the Joe Budden podcast, kind of weird in itself as well. Like,
I thought that, and then I listened to that first episode that was, deemed the Joe Budden podcast, and I mean, maybe because they no, it's nothing. I mean, it's whatever. That's how people were referring to it as, like, oh, I'll name this podcast later. Wait, what? The Joe Budden podcast. So it just, to me, and like listening to them talking about it, and like, no, like it fits. It is your podcast.
well, it's easier to find if you're searching, sure.
No, not just that, but like when you're telling people about it, when you're talking about it, and people are
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
I'll name this podcast later. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
and it's like,
in a
well, no,
sense.
like, the one that Joe Budden's on, the Joe Budden podcast. Yeah.
But it could have easily been Joe Budden podcast with Rory and Mal.
Yeah, the with Roy and Mal was always a byline.
Yeah,
It was always just like,
And that should have been there.
sub.
I think it should have been kept that way. But, whatever. But this is just those little small things that people, and again, that's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
That just pops in people's heads because it's not something that'll be brought up by the guys, but it'll just be observed. And
Yeah.
it'll be kept there. And then they probably discussed it amongst each other, behind the scenes.
yeah.
And, now it's coming to the surface. Not something that you would bring up to somebody right at the moment. Like, there's no reason for Maul at that moment when it happened to be like, what you mean I? Don't you mean we? You wouldn't with your friends, if that were to happen, like, you wouldn't bring that up at that moment because
Yeah.
it would just make shit weird right before a Highline Ballroom episode, I'm sure. So they let that go because they thought, all right, whatever, he's just excited. But it's something that stays in the back of your head for this exact moment, and that's why we're hearing about it now.
You've done shows here before, and you've never had the line around the corner. And that's fine. But it's like the ego, the greed.
I get it.
It just becomes too much, and it's like...
And to his right, too, on personality, yes, he has grown a large part of his personality outside of rapping with a huge fan base.
Cool. Which is why you get the percentage you get.
Which is why he gets the percentage. Which is why you get the percentage you get.
Well, I'm not nigga. I'm a regular nigga from uptown, bro.
Maul and I have never said we're these crazy personalities ever.
Never said it, bro.
I've never bragged about what I do. There's value amongst the three of us. Now, do I think Joe has crazy value by himself? Do I think you have crazy value by yourself? Do I think I have crazy value by myself? Yes. Whatever you think that value is from a number standpoint, whatever. But the three of us together was some different type of value. Him saying Rory's measly ass and that I was trying to manipulate shit. Let's be transparent and tell the truth, Mo. Because I'm the only one that was talking to him and was talking to you.
Right.
I was trying to save this fucking podcast like you would not fucking believe. With two people that were done with it. Joe was done with the shit. You were done with the shit. And I'm the only one sitting here trying to keep this shit going.
But see, again, that's why this is important, because like I said, I didn't even want to do this. You didn't want to do this, but we came to something. We was like, it's absolutely necessary because these narratives have to stop. We got to put it into this because this is not what happened. This is not the truth. He thinks that he's really this new guy because I'm hearing it, and then the way he's talking to me, and I'm just like, I think y'all got things twisted. No, we don't got nothing twisted. I think that money started to come in. You started to see more money than you ever seen in your life. You started to have conversations with niggas you wanted to have conversations with as a rapper that would never talk to you. So I think that you starting to feel like this new person and you got this new leash on life, which is fine.
He said, yes, I like my ego. My ego is important in certain places. I should channel it better, but I should never channel it the way I channeled it with my friends. This is his words, not mine.
But then what happened now? Like, that went out the window? I told you, I said, Rory, I would never sit down with him again. I said, because I can't fake it. That energy, that chemistry, that laugh and shit, the fun, it's not there no more. When you look me in my eyes and tell me after all these years, all this grinding, all this building and pushing that we did, you tell me that this shit is none of my business, I could never unhear that, fam. I can never unhear you.
Yeah, and that was apparent. The 2 episodes that Rory and Maul were on, once they had their talk and they came back before they took that week break again, you sensed it. Maul was not laughing at anything Joe was saying. Joe had a couple times he would attempt to get Maul to like chime in, but we didn't get that's crazy. We didn't get Maul repeating something funny that Joe said, which is like classic Maul. That was not there anymore. No. Maul would, unless it was a sports take that, because they're both Knicks fans. Yeah. That would bring Maul to speak something. Yeah, but Maul really wasn't contributing unless it was something that Rory was saying or Parks was saying.
And Rory was really trying. Even that first episode. Yeah, he was really
trying. He was trying to get back in his regular bag that he usually, his role that he plays on the pod. And they were trying to make it sound like everything was okay. But at a time like that, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. I felt like they maybe should have had more time behind the scenes to like repair everything before they got back on air. Yeah. I think that's what damaged it. They got back on too soon, and then that week off I don't know if that was planned. I really don't know if that week off was planned afterwards. Because maybe Joe felt that there was still some tension and they still like, all right, we still need to break. Well, no,
that the deleted episode that week was planned. Like prior, according to Joe, the week was planned for like a vacation for everybody. He's like, everybody's been working hard and blah, blah, blah.
It's just that it happened too...
At the same time, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the timing of it just seemed kind of weird. All right, we back. We're continuing with this JBP, Rory and Maul situation. We're going to continue with the footage from their video response. We just had to take a quick break for cameras. Let's get right back into this tidbit involving Crooked Eye and the pull-up that was never aired.
You say that to me. I had a 3-hour FaceTime with Royce, and we talked about everything.
And I text Royce afterwards after you called me, and I thanked Royce.
He talked to me about a whole bunch of slaughterhouse shit. Again, he had to pull up with Crook. Never put it out.
I watched it.
Never put it out. And when the shit fell apart with us, that shit played in my head. And him and Crook were talking about Crook said something to the extent of, but bro, we have a contract with them. We got to honor our contract. We signed this. We agreed to this. We got to honor that. And Joe's response was, I don't give a fuck about no contract. I don't honor no contracts. And Crook just laughed like, all right, well, if that's how you feel, what are we even talking about? Like, we are not doing that. It's not happening. My reputation is A1. You're not going to find anybody out here that's going to say no grimy shit about me or some crazy shit about me. And if they do, they're lying.
Leave it at that.
Oh, no. I took it off.
That's all right. That was actually the part I really wanted to highlight anyway.
No, I had the new Rory Mal.
Oh,
I'm so mad. I don't know how I
It's all
lost
good.
it. Okay, anyway, let me stop playing my shit.
all right. So moving on. Yeah. So that right there, that spoke to a lot of what people.
There we go. It got stuck with Joe's
So that
clip.
hearing that kind of bothered me. Hearing that Joe really doesn't care about the contracts, but then can do some hypocrite shit and get at his own co-host about their contracts. Mm-hmm. So it is some wild shit when you hear this. And Joe went on live soon after hearing that and tried to tell his side of the story. I didn't really bother listening to it. People were going at him pretty hard in the comment section.
It was almost a half hour of bullshit and pretty much like, you stupid, you don't fucking know shit, whatever. Him talking shit to the viewers, which is, I always feel like it's stupid. Like, why would you even go on IG Live then?
To talk about it, and face those people.
Because I edited it down to 5 minutes of worthy information from it. That was about it after like a half hour.
But without playing it, what did you pick up?
Yeah, so he starts off, I have complied, you just don't like it. And then he goes, I know what they said and it's not true. And then talks about the contract, but tries to loosely go around it. He was like, oh, you're not gonna try to sue me, blah, 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 whatever. And then says that they are percentage participants of his net, not the podcast itself. Which means, but if you think about it, the way he's saying it, okay, if it's like, oh no, what he says, he was like, from what I made, the net, my net from the podcast. Yeah. Not, okay. But, and I get it, you have a pay, and he refers like the show's Patreon. Well, my Patreon deal. And I'm just thinking, it's your Patreon deal. Yes, it's your show. But if they're making a net income from what you make from the show, that also includes Patreon. Because what I didn't have included was Rory's talking about how they were already and they said on air that they were talking about for weeks, like, let's just do a Patreon since we don't have Spotify anymore, and it's like, fuck it, we need money. Like, they've talked about doing Patreon, and then here comes Joe with the Patreon deal, but just for himself. Yeah. But yet the podcast is on there, and you have them filming extra. Yeah. So why would they not, like, and they got paid, and you get mad because he says it. Oh, I didn't write it down. He's like, it's my job. Like, he got offended the fact that they wanted to throw extra money. He was like, if that was the case, you should have been giving them checks.
No, I agree. And this just goes back. Also, there's another situation where Rory mentioned him talking to Elliot Wilson in the early days of the pod. And Elliot was just, inviting him to dinner and discussed like, initial stages of like, look, hey man, Tidal's doing their own podcast division. If you were to come over here, these would be the figures. All Rory said was, hey man, that sounds cool. I'm gonna talk it over with the guys. Mm-hmm. Talks to Joe. Joe says, why are you talking to people about this podcast? Don't do that shit. A couple days pass by. Joe comes to everybody and says, hey, I got us a title deal. It was the same exact deal that Rory was mentioning in his talk with Elliot. And the fact that Joe would do that. That's another red flag. Because
then he goes on the live. He talks about already been in talks. He was like, and pretty much like nothing. Elliot be like, I'm in talks with Jay-Z about it, and blah blah blah. So of course Elliot's gonna give him those numbers because those are the same numbers I have. But why are you shocked then the fact that Rory had lunch with him and he's giving him those numbers if technically you had those numbers first?
Yeah, just why catch an attitude about it?
Yeah. Why catch an attitude about any of this?
And then why catch an attitude when they want their numbers? The same numbers that you wanted from Spotify.
Yeah. And it's funny because I always wondered. I mean, I didn't read too much into it, but for a little while, I always wondered why he kept harping on, what is it called? Rory doing the playlist. And anytime he did, Rory would get really quiet and like, I'm not working for Elliot.
Yeah.
And he kept saying that, like, and that was his. I mean, shit, that was his whole thing with fucking Marissa.
Yeah, you see it now. Once you start learning all this stuff, you see, because Joe had a tendency of just throwing little shots at people, but they always seem like it's like sarcasm.
Yeah.
But part of it was actually, there was some truth to it, because he was probably hurt. He was probably annoyed at the fact that Roy did that, and he took it as, he just started psychoanalyzing everybody. He's like, oh, these niggas really trying to take my shit?
Yeah.
And that was dumb as hell of him to think. But I guess that's part of who he is. That's part of his shit.
And the part where they got extra money, what was it? That he's like, oh, I haven't been honoring your contract. I've been giving you more money. He goes in depth and says that it was his own money, his money from Revolt, blah, blah, blah. Because he was like, I'm not going to do my mans like that. Like, I'm not going to, like, their check would have been small, so I threw in extra. But then why not have that? Why not tell them that then?
Why not tell them that? And why not just give them the fucking numbers when they ask for it? It makes no sense.
He just went on a whole rant of Spotify not giving them the numbers.
Yeah.
Of him not going to Tidal because they don't have they said they're like, we won't be able to do that.
Yeah, we won't give you the data.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I mean, and then Roy and Mal, I get it. It's like, punching in for work, and your boss won't give you the hours that you clocked in. When you ask to see, hey, can I just see what hours I worked this week? And they get all offensive, like, oh, well, and they give you whatever this. Why do you want to see the hours?
Yeah.
Nigga, because I punched in. I want to see how much I'm getting paid.
Because Grant, it is like, they're not, to me, like, they're not just, the three of them not just showing up. I mean, yeah, he has the network, but at the end of the day, they all had the same job.
Yeah.
As, like, before any of the shit was pretty much, like, Joe wanted to get the money, but didn't want anybody else to get any deals for them. He wanted to be the one to bring the deals.
Right, but then also mentioned that he also said to that thing, I don't even know where it was, but he said it. I gave him the opportunity, like, hey, if they can find a deal, go ahead.
But then you just yelled at him.
But you yelled at them when they tried to.
But Elliot, that was a lunch. That wasn't him even inquiring anything. Yeah. Elliot just said something. He's like, all right, I'll bring it up to the guys.
But that still is something like, someone went out of their way and tried to find a better situation for the pod. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm going to bring it up to the team if this works. So why are you getting mad if nothing was even decided?
And then goes, we don't have a deal as far as the podcast. Which again, like, gets confusing to me, like I was talking about before with the Patreon, but it gets confusing to me because in that same part, which I didn't write it, I thought we were going to play it, he talks about it being a business. Yeah. And what if what is it? We didn't have deals, and, I'm just trying to, like, excuse me for trying to help you guys in our multi-dollar or whatever, like, network and business and shit like that. Somebody comments, well, like, he reads half of the question and goes, well, what if there is no business? This isn't a business. But you just call it, but either. Yeah, like, he literally caught within a few minutes, and I only edited out a little bit, but he literally just calls it a business, and how pretty much they're trying to go against the business, but then says there is no business. Because the person was like, oh, but if this is a multi-whatever business, then why couldn't you just show them the accounting and give them the money?
Yeah, it is. It's just when you see a $400,000 accounting error.
It wasn't even about the giving them the money. It was just they want to see what they're getting their money from.
Numbers, man, is what it came down to, and Dude was scared. And that's just another huge red flag. And especially when it's done multiple times. It's not like it's just once.
And the thing from Spotify was weird because he explains in the live that it was their, I forgot the word. Like, like when you're in sports and you get, like, the first money down kind of thing. You get up front.
Oh, signing bonus.
Signing bonus. It's almost like that. Oh. So that was your signing bonus to be stretched out for those 2 years. And then they would get, the rest as it go. But why would it if it was supposed to be stretched out, why would in accounting on an Excel sheet it just say 40? It would say 400,000.
Just giving them that on the Excel sheet was crazy too.
That was wild.
That was wild. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, this pretty much is the gist of everything that happened. Mm-hmm. I think we can both agree our opinion of Joe Budden has kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's what it was.
We got more notes?
No. Somebody, I know I found it. Somebody had, the question was, if this is a multi-dollar whatever, why would accounting be on an Excel sheet? And he's like, well, what if there is no business? Like, that's how he answered that question.
Yeah, no, that makes no sense.
And then the person also mentioned somebody asked about salary. He's like, well, that's how it works.
No.
He's like, if you just want to come in and sit down and talk. But the way my point that I was trying to get to earlier was, you're doing all the same work. You still have to do the homework. Us getting into this, I didn't realize it was this much work.
Yeah.
This much, like, and I'm still not doing everything. I should be listening to more music and, you know, being more aware of shit. And I'm still like, oh shit, like, you know, there's mad, yeah. The Olivia Dope thing I found out late, which we're not talking about today. We'll probably get to the next one. Which I told you about first. Yeah. I was like, what? I didn't even know.
That came out of nowhere. Yeah, and that's part of the game. But at the same time, I mean, not even to get into that, you do so much other stuff. You're not just a podcaster. If you were, then that would kind of be expected of you to know that stuff. But you got so much else going on. Yeah,
but no, because to me, I see this as like, it's a job. Like, I make sure like I'm available for this, and I feel in tune with
the culture.
Yeah, I just have to make more time. That's it. I really have to schedule time for this.
There's a reminder to do so. But my closing notes on this, podcasting has been a thing for maybe around 10 years, and it's only been mainstream for 5 years. So none of us really know, how this thing goes. We do know that it's become a multi-million-dollar business where actual companies have been made off of this and just have a podcasting division. There's just podcast-only apps. Like, this is a serious thing. There's thousands of podcasts popping up and like hundreds more popping up each day. When you find one that has had such an impact on the culture and has a subgenre of people that listen to it and speak a slang and know the inside jokes, it is very common for them to become attached to the people on that podcast. Just as if we were sports fans and we're attached to everything that the players from the team do, just as if we're super fans of a show or a movie franchise and we're super attached to what these actors are going through. So when people on the podcast that we love and we've paid so much attention and given so much money to and our time and energy towards start acting differently, yes, you can expect the fans to act the way they're acting. And you, as the stars of that show, shouldn't be so surprised that we want to be all up in your business and that we're having think pieces and we're talking and we're making opinions and we're forming discussions on this because we love it so much. We genuinely are fans and we care about it and we want to see this thing be the best product that it is because we believed in it so much. So yeah, that's why people are in your shit.
And that's why Rory and Mal felt like they needed to do that.
Absolutely. So Joe really shouldn't be so offended that people give a fuck. And yeah, we may not know what's going on behind the scenes, but God damn it, you make it so that we're like in the room with you. What the fuck else do you expect us to do?
You get mad when they don't say how their weekend is.
Yeah, and you'd be mad if we didn't care. So here we are caring, and we're forming our opinions as other people do because we feel we're your friends and we feel like we can call you out because you have made us that comfortable to do so.
Yeah.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
Same thing if it was with you and me. I'm not surprised if motherfuckers going to be hitting me up on Twitter saying, yo, why are you doing this? Why is Sade acting like that? Nigga, we've built a fan base. They feel like they're our family. They feel like they can talk to us like regular people. That's what's going to happen. Yo, bro, you fucking up. Sade, what the fuck you doing?
Dry ass bitch.
It comes with the territory. You dry ass bitch. Bro, why your voice always sound like that?
I'm sorry.
This is what it is. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm so sorry.
But this is what it is, man. So, like,
yeah.
I hate to be such, direct with, deal with it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Deal with it.
And it seems so simple.
Yeah.
That I think this is the last straw for them.
Last straw. No, I think it's the end. It's Joe, Eisenish, and Parks.
But since you didn't know, I'll real quick. Part of my closing thing, Marissa. So what happened with her was it was during the Drake rants.
And for those who don't know, Marissa used to be on the Joe Budden show prior to Rory and Mal being
there. The nickname Madi the Body, Marissa Mendez. She was on it in the very beginning, and what's it called? And then Rory joined in, so it was the three of them for about like 70-something episodes, whatever. But it was around the Drake rants, and she said, yeah, everything was kind of weird. And after a while, I didn't participate in, like, me and Rory still, like, we had our side conversations, and, like, this was weird about it. She was just on No Jumper podcast, and Adam had mentioned it, because Adam is a Joe Venger. He mentioned it, and he asked about her backstory and how she felt about all of this.
Right.
So she didn't speak so much on to about that. She was like, listen, I don't pay attention to it. Like, I've even muted it. Like, I really don't, because she felt some type of way about the Spotify deal and having all their like her episodes on there and not getting a dime. She was like, I didn't complain about it. Did I feel a way? Yes, but I didn't. Whatever. Cool. She had no problem with Maul replacing her just because she knew Maul. She lived with them. And she was like, if anybody was going to replace me, it would be Maul. That's a different type of energy that I couldn't provide. And I get that. Like, whatever.
Okay. But
about her leaving, right before everything went down, they did the Brilliant Idiots episode. Remember that one?
Yeah.
She was not told about it. She didn't know about it until like right before it aired, or it dropped already.
Oh wow, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, she didn't know anything. She wasn't aware of it. And I think on that episode it was like, oh no, we're just gonna keep it the guys, or oh no, Monty didn't want to be here. I forgot what it was. But that's what started everything. So Rosenberg when he found out about it, I think the episode had already dropped. He felt offended about it, ranting, went on air to rant. Marissa, I guess, was working with him, but wasn't there when he ranted, and she got fired from it because Joe texted her. As soon as that rant dropped, Joe texted her, like, okay, you're done, pretty much firing her, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? Roy hit her up. You just talk to him, She's like, I don't even know what's going on right now. And then she hit a Peter. She's like, Peter, like, what did you say? Cause he's like, yeah, I kind of went off on your homie, blah, blah, blah. And this and that, on your co-host. Like, I was talking shit. I got pissed off. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, this is between y'all. I'm not connected. And she said, she's like, he felt like I was, and he told her this, that because there was a conflict of interest, that she was working for Hot 97. No, it was
what?
Hot 97, right? Yeah, sorry.
97, yeah.
I blinked for a second. That she was telling Rosenberg shit about him.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So he felt, because of what Peter was ranting about, that Peter mentioned Marissa's name like in a second, just mentioned her name once, but it wasn't part of the context. That he just assumed, oh, you're going back and telling him things, and you're against me and blah blah blah, just because he dropped her name in that rant that one time, and fired her, no explanation, no nothing. And Rory here is the first time he has to fix something, and again it backfired.
Yeah.
Anytime he tries to fix something, it backfires, which sucks on his part. Because damn.
I feel bad for that. But you know what? I think both, if Rory and Maul do start their own podcast, I think they'll be doing very well for themselves. I think they'll be able to have a good fan base. Mm-hmm. I suspect a huge part of the fan base of Joe Budden will probably go and listen to them. They'll probably listen to both still. I feel like I'll still listen to both because I do appreciate the takes that Ice and Ish have. It's a different dynamic than Rory and Maul.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's better. It's just a different take. And, Joe is Joe. Joe still makes some great points, having been in the music industry and knowing the rap game. So I do appreciate his takes on his stuff, and just his takes on everything that goes on in the media. He does make some good points about stuff. Granted, sometimes it may be a little extreme, but it's still a good opinion to hear.
Yeah, because, like, Marissa didn't give much to it, but I still listened to her. Like, I did feel like it was shady as shit. Like, once I listened to her podcast, I heard that everything, how it went down, and the Ebro in the Morning, his interview, how he walked off and felt some sort of way, and he didn't know she was going to be there, and she's like, I work here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, that's weird, actually, not to mention it.
I work here. But, and he felt attacked and all that shit. So, to me, like, I forgot how hard it is to be a fan of him, just because Adam pointed it out. There hasn't been, like, he hasn't shaken shit up in a long time. Hasn't been any turbulence until now.
It's kind of expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. When shit's going really well, for some reason, it just tends to shut down. And, we thought after the Spotify deal that they had their Patreon shit going, and I'm like, all right, now it's going to really pop off for them. Because other podcasts have been able to do the Patreon stuff, and they've been pretty successful. Mm-hmm. So this was just like a no-brainer for them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, shit just went left. Mm-hmm. And, they were trying so hard to tell us it wasn't about the money, when it just ended up being about the money.
Yeah.
So it's a shame. So, but you know, it looks like they'll be okay. Hopefully, Joe won't do some fuck shit and sue them just for trying to start their own shit because they got to eat too. You know, and I think that this response was good for all parties involved because, from what I've heard from Joe's podcast, he's done talking about this shit. It sounds like Rory and Maul are done talking about this shit. So as long as no one sends any shots, everything should be cool on both ends.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it. As fans of the show,
it'd be petty as fuck if he sued them, though.
It would be, and he would lose a bigger part of his fan base. So it would be in his best interest to not do that. But I wouldn't put it past him. If he sues, they're definitely it's gonna be public. I wouldn't put it. Yeah, it'll be public. They'll talk about it, but I wouldn't put it past him doing that. I think he would do it, but let's just hope he doesn't because it just doesn't need to be brought up anymore. Like you did what you did. The people see you one way. There's no reason to continue talking about it and trying to make sense of it anymore.
And if anybody has anything to say about Joe in this case, I'm not picking sides. Yeah, it's shady as shit, but I'm still gonna listen.
I'm still gonna listen.
And I'm still gonna support. I'm gonna support either way, but at the same time, I mean, support like that's my friend, whatever. But either way, I mean, if he loses anybody from this, he still has the people that are just like, this is Joe, like me, like, this is Joe.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we'll leave it at that though.
Yeah. We are shitty podcasters. We do not have if you don't know.
That's all right. No, it's been a busy week, but we'll make up for it next week.
Talking about shitty podcasters.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a twofer for next week.
Oh, a twofer? Are
we'll do a
applying
twofer.
pressure? No, I got.
We'll make up for it.
I definitely have to.
But nah, man, you already know what it is. It's episode 87. Just want to give you a little quick update on things because it's been a busy week for us. It's been a hell of a busy week. I'm fucking tired. And I got a lot more to do. Thank God I'm not even doing any. I'm not going to any shows or anything this week. I'm just gonna chill Friday and Saturday. I got another soccer game Saturday morning, so that should be fun. Yeah, that's some more kids because we're first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it feels so great to win.
If I go Sunday, I probably just end up editing and shit.
That's cool.
Working.
That's cool.
Probably because I know I really need to take a day off.
Take a shot with us and just chill out. I'm gonna be there. It'll be a nice little Sunday night, adventure with the guys.
LB's probably gonna be cooking. Yes.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna definitely stop by and probably bring some telly or something,
Hey.
and hang out with the guys. But any final thoughts? You good?
Final thoughts. I have a new obsession with pineapple White Claws. I was so over White Claws until they came up with pineapple. That's it. That's all.
Word. Did you see Invincible?
I'm a tropical bitch, huh?
Did you see Invincible yet?
No.
Okay, you need to get to Invincible.
I know, but like after the week that I've had, I just found it funny. Like,
look, just watch the first episode. Just watch the first episode.
I know, I'm not gonna be able to do that.
One episode?
I'm saying like I know I'm gonna like be like, fuck this episode. Fuck these videos for Check It. I'm watching this entire thing. I already know I'm gonna do that.
Well, it's 8 episodes, so you probably could do it. But I'm saying that the first episode.
How long is each episode?
I think about 40 minutes. But once you see this first episode, you'll be hooked and you'll want to see what happens.
Okay, can I promise to watch it? Oh, no.
Before I see you Sunday.
Oh God, I work tomorrow and Saturday.
Oh, you're gonna find time to watch one episode, and you're gonna text me and be like, "Yo, this is really good."
No, I'm gonna be like in bed up until the time I have to. No, let me see. Monday. I think it's gonna be my day off. I don't do shit.
Just
Monday.
Watch that first episode.
Monday.
Okay. Watch that first episode. That's all I'm gonna say.
Monday.
Right.
Oh fuck.
You got something Monday?
No, I just realized we have the show next Thursday. Oh yeah, check it.
Southside Jam.
Ooh, look at us.
Southside Jam.
Next week.
Check It comes to Camden Arts Yard.
Damn, and now I have to find the time to
Day,
do all those.
Yosanova teaming up.
All right, so the performers, if you were listening, that footage from Check It, the one in Clifton, might be a little past 2 weeks, but it'll get to you guys. I promise.
We'll figure that out. But in the meantime, in between time, this has been episode 87.
I was waiting for
of the Lyrical Fix Podcast with your host Kid Pro
and Shada.
We gonna see y'all next week. Busy week again, but reminding y'all as always, stay safe out here, be good to each other, wash your hands, wash your ass, put on a goddamn mask because it's nasty out here.
It is.
Peace.